when you've got... Whoa! Look at this, Jen! Look at this move! Knight h6 check in your face, my son.
God.
Knight h6 check. This is a stunning move. And if G takes h6, queen up to d4. Have a bit of queen h8 for breakfast. And if bishop e6, you're just going to go
and what
queen
about bishop? Okay, so if bishop f7, I mean bishop e6?
Yeah, bishop e6, queen h8 check, king f7. And here, surely queen h7 check is the end of the game. Bishop g7, queen takes g7, mate. Have a bit of that, Bador.
And there it is. Queen d4 is coming. And
hello, everybody, and welcome to another installment of the Pro Chess League, the Central Division. I'm once again joined by my partner, the greatest partner in crime one could ever wish for, Jen Shahadi. Hi, Jen.
Hey, everyone. Can't wait for today's action.
Going to be a lot of action today on this Valentine's Day, nonetheless, installment.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day
to
you, Lawrence, and everybody listening in.
And I just want to say to everybody, if you have got plans tonight, cancel them. If your girlfriend or partner does want you to treat her and take her out, tell her no. This is where the romance is at tonight. We've got some of the best players in the world battling it out. And not only some of the best players in the world, we've got some of the most romantic players. And I mean that with real authenticity, Jen, because today we've been treated to some pretty, I would say, special VIPs who are joining the action. Some of the names that, well, perhaps you can tell us, Jen, that one of the most romantic players on the circuit is playing tonight, none other than Bador Jobava. You know, his style is wacky from the 19th century, the romantic era of chess. He's going to be spicing it up tonight. And we've got a bunch of others who are absolutely brilliant. Valentina Gunina. We've got the likes of Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. How more romantic can you get when you're at the top? And we've got of course, the usuals as well. Gawain Jones, very exciting. So we're going to have a spicy, sexy evening with all of you guys, and all of you guys who are watching either on Chess.com or via Twitch. We are going to keep an eye out for your comments and queries, and of course we appreciate all the feedback. Please keep it nice and friendly in the chat. Apart from that, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, thanks guys for listening in on this Valentine's Day, and we hope you're going to be with us all day. Just to add to what Lawrence was saying, you know, Grubhub and Pro Chess League, I don't really think you can beat that, Lawrence.
You really can't. You really can't. And the games have kicked off.
Oh,
the games
great.
have kicked off. Before we go there, though, perhaps we just have, everybody can just look above and see exactly the matchups we've got this week. We've got the Migraines against the Stockholm Snowballs. This is a huge match, Jen. Absolutely massive match. And we'll go to the standings as well, just so they can see.
I mean, 1 and 2 in the division, the Central Division, facing off right now. The Stockholm Snowballs, as you mentioned, brought a stacked lineup today. So, I mean, this is a match that our eyes are on. And you said that you see Maxime Vachier-Lagrave's game started up already?
I believe that Maxime has already started.
Oh, yes, it has. We've got Maxime playing against Ina Agras. To remind everybody, the way the Pro Chess League pairings work on the regular season is the top player playing against the bottom board in round 1. So that creates some lopsided, but also very interesting games to start off the match. And here, doesn't disappoint. We've got a Sicilian, I assume an Idorf, considering that MVL is black.
We're not quite there yet, because I was just going to go through the rest of the pairings, Jen. Then we'll. The position is on the board, but we've got the Turtles against the Mosquitoes, the Puffins against the Reykjavik Puffins against the Blockbusters, and we've got the London Derby, the London Derby, the Lions versus the Towers. Now, very quickly, let's quickly check out those standings so we can get a bit of context into this week. The Migraines are a full point clear at the top. So the Snowballs are very much incentivized to go all in today, because if they secure a win, that will pretty much secure their passage into the next round. They will be neck and neck with the Migraines, and they will both be favourites to go through. Really, where the interesting part of this league begins, Jen, is from positions, I guess, 3 straight down to position 7, because they're pretty bunched up there. The Turtles and Blockbusters on 3 points, the Puffins on 2.5, and the Mosquitoes and London Lions with an outside chance as well on 1.5. So a lot of really crucial matches actually this week.
Indeed, very crucial. And I'm just fascinated by this game between Maxime Vachier-Lagrave and Ina Agres. And I was saying, I think that this is a great choice by Agres to play the most sharp line. A lot of times when I notice some of my students, when they're playing against a higher rated player, they say, you know, I should go for something more tepid because maybe they're just going to crush me in the main lines. I think the opposite approach is correct. If you're going to make an upset, why not stand on the shoulder of giants and play the first 10 moves pretty quickly in the most testing line? I love what you did.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely a valid argument. If you try and sideline it too much, you are just risking being much worse very quickly, especially if they play something that is a bit offbeat as well and you're not quite familiar with it. Whereas, you know, if you go down the main line, it's main line for a reason, right? It's because it's, objectively speaking, the critical way to face that opening. Of course, MVL is arguably the best Night-Off player in the world, but yeah, you know, she's going for it, and I like that. I think you take it to MVL here, and she's got an open position. Anything can happen. One of these, you know, knight d5s or knight f5s, if they work out, or e5s or f5s, only one of them have to work out, and you can put Maxime under serious pressure. I'm not sure as to the theoretical relevance of this position, I have to say, but seems as though Maxime has played very, very quickly. Only used 6
seconds. She's
now
a little bit in the tank.
The
other games that we have going on in this match include George Meier playing against Jules Massard. Now this match is this game rather of the match is more balanced. What you see is boards 2 and 3 tend to be more balanced in these early rounds, and of course boards 1 and 4 are lopsided, as we also have, of course, Jobava playing for the Stockholm Snowballs, playing against the board 4 for the Marseille Migraines, who's Marc-Andrea Maruzzi, who's been playing some really good chess, Lawrence, but it seems that somehow a lot of the time towards the last few minutes of the game, he gets into some time pressure and he falters. But man, he's had some near upsets against so many grandmasters as I've seen in this game.
He's had some real huge positions, and I'm sure his teammates have been congratulating him for performing way above his.
Exactly, and just saying how much talent he has. But look at his game. Oh my gosh. Look at his game against Lexi Sexy. We got to get to that. That is, of course, Jobava's very Valentine theme handle here on Chess.com, but it's his handle 365 days of the year. But look what's happened. He hasn't spent any time, but his queen on b2 is the only piece that's moved. Lawrence, this looks terrible.
This is crazy. Should we go from the beginning? Because we're only 10 moves in. I'm very curious, actually.
I'm totally baffled by this, but we're keeping our eye on this game until something happens, Lawrence.
Well, we actually had a 2-knight mainline variation with h3, bishop f3, queen f3, e6, and after d4 takes. Well, here, Marc-Andrea Maruzzi, the main move is actually to play queen takes d4, which is a very solid idea, and after knight f6, just to slip this queen back to d3, and white will fianchetto with the move g3. But no, Marc-Andrea was like, I'm not having any of that. Let's go. You want to call yourself a magician? I'm also a magician. Knight takes e4. Come at me. Come and take that pawn off in the center of the board. What white claims with this is after c3, queen b6, and now bishop e3, queen takes b2. Yes, he's giving up all his pawns, but if we look at the position, guys, after rook d1, white is basically saying, I've got all my pieces out. All of your boys are still at home, the knight, the bishop, on both sides. You're not your kings in the center, and white really only needs 1 or 2 moves. And, you know, for example, the bishop gets to c4, white gets castled. He can even put a rook on e1, and he's saying 2 pawns are 2 pawns, but what are you going to do about your king? And so here, Bardor just goes, well, it might be a great move because it's a critical move, f5, attacking this knight.
With the idea that if the knight moves, he's just going to take on c3 with check.
And that's an awkward check to me, because you don't want to play bishop d2 and allow the exchange of queens. That would be way too easy for black.
And the
So
problem with like something like rook d2 is there's a queen c1 check followed by bishop b4 check, probably.
exactly, rook d1 and bishop b4 is very nasty indeed. King e2 and here queen c2 check, something like that will be very painful. So here, actually, Mark Andrea, who you can see is already 6 minutes down on the clock. You know what he's thinking. He's thinking,
Sacrifice.
can I
Sack it.
sack it? But I've got
Sack
some
it.
bad news. I don't see a way for him to do that successfully. I have
Well,
to
just
say.
I don't know, maybe just because the problem with bishop just to move the bishop somewhere to castle, basically saying you're down a million tempi.
Well, I
And
think one of
when
the
you like, even
moves.
if I just play like bishop e2, and
Well,
he's done it.
he's done it. But the
He's
move that
played bishop c4. Oh my god.
well, the move
Oh my
that,
god.
this is really interesting. I'm going to
So
show
what's gonna
you.
happen? Let's take a look. It takes on e4. What happens,
Well, he's
Lawrence?
going to take on e4 and then he's going to go queen h5 check. This is his idea. Queen h5 check, forcing g6, because if king e7, bishop, well, it looks like close to mate. Let's see if we can checkmate the guy. Wow. Looks like mate, might not be immediately, but bishop c5 check is at least a draw after king e7. And the idea is after queen h5, if you go g6, then white's just going to go queen e5 here, hitting this rook, which is actually, you can't defend it, and threatening queen takes e6 check. And most importantly, defending this pawn on c3.
Oh my gosh. This looks like a great move, Lawrence.
Looks
What's he
like an
gonna do?
unbelievable move.
What's he gonna do? And
Well,
if he doesn't take on e4, isn't he like pretty much? I mean, a busto?
It might be busto. I mean, this is why he's played queen c2 so quickly.
Okay.
Queen c2. Right now
Because
is why.
if you hadn't played queen c2, we were just gonna play bishop e6.
Right.
With the idea that you can never take on e4 because of queen f7 mate.
Precisely.
Now at least bishop takes e6 is met by queen takes e4, and I'm not even sure what the evaluation of that is. We might have some funny business there as well, but at least it's not totally busto, right?
Right.
It's not resigns. So
well, here White's got I mean, this is just such an interesting position. Unfortunately for Mark Andrea, he's only got 7 minutes, but this is just so gorgeous. There's so much to look at here. One move I would be seriously considering is the move queen to g3. I know that looks crazy, and the point is after queen takes e4 to go queen into c7, trying to set up some stuff with rook d8 mate, and also the b7 pawn is hanging. And
this looks like a great idea. Queen g3 to queen c7, but there's so many ideas here, Lawrence. There's also queen h5 check, g6, queen h4.
Yeah, that's another one.
Rook d8 or queen d8. And therein lies the problem for the youngster. It's very difficult because there's so many compelling candidate moves here for White, and he's playing a blitz game, essentially. Now he is. It started as a game 15, but he's down to 6 minutes, and this is a painful position to have 6 minutes in, Lawrence. You just want to sink your teeth into this and, spend 30 minutes trying to figure out what the best move is. But that's not possible.
You really do. And, Bador, he's going to put the pressure on time-wise, so it'll be really interesting. We will keep an eye on this game because it's very, very exciting, as you said.
This is the game. This is the game.
This is a fantastic game. And the other matches have started to kick off as well. So we've got the Amsterdam Mosquitoes. We've got King Luke van Vele, one of the world's elite grandmasters for over 2 decades playing. We've got the likes of Vincent Kmar playing today. Now, people may know or may not know who Vincent Kmar is. Vincent is the golden boy of German chess, playing for the Stockholm Snowballs in this match. So we're actually going to go there as well. Make sure we don't miss out on his game. He's playing against Yannick Gossely. Now, Vincent Kmar, if you've not heard this name, remember it, because he's going to be around for a long, long time. I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think he's only 12 or 13 years old. Again, you're going to have to correct me if I'm wrong. And he was world under 10 champion, was it? Something along those lines. I think he was world under 10 champion. He met Garry Kasparov, and Gary was very impressed. And he is born in 2004, Jen. Wow. 14. I was a bit too young. He's not 13, he's 14. And he's ranked #1 for all under 14 players in the world. So he's the top under 14 in the world. Going to be a grandmaster, obviously, very, very soon. And playing here against Yannick Gozali, we can see the position on the board. And what's going on in this position here? Well, white is just better, right? He's got a fantastic square on e4 for this knight. And what's really impressive about Kmar is he is extremely mature in his play. He plays like somebody who's been playing for 30 years, not for 5 years. He plays all of these very strategically based openings, queen's pawn openings.
Wow, that's definitely an interesting strategic battle, Lawrence, but you got to draw your attention to MVL's game against Rematch because it's featuring a fascinating imbalance that we don't get to see too much.
Wow.
Pieces for a queen. Rematch has the queen. And when you have the queen in these types of imbalanced situations, the key is you got to get at the king because that's what the queen excels at, trying to get at the king. As we all remember on Valentine's Day, of course, the queen is the most powerful piece, but in the situation where the 3 pieces get to coordinate and the king is safe, usually the pieces just dominate. So I love what Anna did to try to play e5, but is it going to work? I mean, that's the big question. If it doesn't work, knight takes e5, and she can't crash through with something like rook e5 or queen g5 check, then I think these pieces are just going to come to the fore and bite back. Knight e3 check, for instance, could potentially win material, because you can't go to d2, I just take on e1, and you have no other moves, right?
The problem that white has got is, you mentioned a line with, for example, rook takes e5, d takes e5, but with queen takes e5, bishop h6 check is a disastrous check for white, who's got no way to cover the king. So I'm actually a bit concerned about Inna's position, and you're right, Jen. The queen on Valentine's Day is the most powerful piece. You should be losing her. But remember, you cannot live without the king. And that's the bottom line, all right? So for all, a shout out to all my fellas on this day. How about that? How about a bit of love for the fraternity out there, for the boys?
Yeah. You know, men need some love as well.
We need love. We need love. We want candles and flowers as well. Don't forget. And yeah, but I mean, going back to the position, I think MVL's in full control. Inna's only got 3 minutes left. We just started, Jen. She's only got 3 minutes.
It's tough. It's intimidating playing against one of the best players in the world. And we see also that our youngster, Marc-Andrea Maruzzi, also has ticked down his time. And unfortunately, the queens are off the board. That is not great for the migraine, because he looked like he was just, slashing, and Jobava must have figured out a way to sacrifice back the material to get queens off the board.
Yeah, he sacrificed it back, and unfortunately for Marc-Andrea, he's not going to get a result here because, well, he could make a draw on a very good day, but I just think with the time situation, he's already, he's only a pawn down.
This is kind of a cool line, though. We should show how it happened, Lawrence.
Yeah, okay.
I understand why Marc-Andrea thought he had this line that was devastating, but it wasn't quite as good as he might have thought.
Yeah, he plays bishop takes e6 here. After queen takes e4, queen takes e4, cute little idea. Just looking to round up this pawn. Black has only got one move to save the rook, which is giving back the whole knight. And after knight d7, bishop takes d7, king to f7. Black is out of danger. White is running out of pieces to attack and gets his pieces out very quickly. And Marc-Andrea has gone for the more pragmatic approach to exchange bishops exchange bishop for knight to have opposite color bishops. But with rooks still on, this is just not gonna. He's just not gonna make a draw here, I'm afraid, against somebody of Badwar's strength.
With that time situation, no.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
what a pretty little idea there with bishop c8. I mean, such a creative and talented player Marc-Andrea Maruzzi is. I love it, and this desperado sacrifice knight d7 is probably what he missed, because I don't think he would have wanted to go into this line if he had seen that move.
I think if we just quickly go back to queen c2 on move 11, I do believe that actually the move knight to d2 may have been extremely strong. Just getting the knight out of the way of the attack, and this pawn on e6 is just waiting to be mopped up by white. Queen takes c3, bishop takes e6, and I think black is busted here. Despite being pawns up, king in the center, E-file is open. I don't see black ever surviving this. This would have been a real nasty surprise if Mark Andre had found knight d2. He didn't know, unfortunately, and I think he will go down. Let's go to another game. Let's go back to the Vincent Kmar game, because that is actually getting a bit exciting. Because Yannick Gozali is obviously a very, very, very aggressive player. Has just punted the h-pawn. Harry, as our friend the Ginger GM, if you guys have been watching the Pro Chess League, and earlier today, Harry the h-pawn, as Simon likes to call him, has been thrown up the board. And the truth is, I'm not sure how stable Vincent Kmar's position is now, because h4 is going to be played next move. You then have to put the knight on a square like f1 maybe, and then there's all kinds of rook takes f3s in the position, or h3s, and I have to say I'm less convinced by Kmar's position now. Unless after h4, can you play rook takes f4 here, Jen? Can you do that?
Why do you want to do that?
Well, if you go e takes f4, I was trying to make rook takes e7 work.
Ah, I see. Okay, that's interesting.
And this g6 rook is hanging.
I see what you're saying. So, obviously you can't go queen f4 at the moment.
And if queen f4 again, I take on g6, which seems to hold. And if you go ef4, rook e7, and now maybe take on g3, maybe here I can just play a move like rook e8 check. Now after king f7, queen to e2, g takes h2 check, and maybe just swing over toeh1. That actually feels like white is winning. Because, oh no, queen takes g2 check is in the air. Oh my goodness. Queen takes g2, rook takes g2, and that is actually winning for black. So, intuitively, Jen, it feels as though this is a bit troublesome now for white, I have to say. Don't know about you.
Yeah, and was this move, what happened in the game? Let's take a look.
No games yet. No moves yet.
No move. Okay, still no move. And by the way, the match between the Blockbusters and the Puffins have just begun. This is a really fascinating matchup as well, because as you were pointing out, the standings are really tight. The Puffins are right behind the Blockbusters. But one bad news for the Blockbusters is they actually had a last-minute lineup change, and so they've got a half-point penalty. So that's really tough considering how crucial this match is, Lawrence, with the Blockbusters with terrible tie breaks, but right now in the top four. They want to keep their position in the top four because in the tie breaks, they're getting blown off the board. And I think that a lot of the reason for that is they did not do as well in the Super Sunday, where more tie break points than usual are up for grabs.
That's right. And so we've got the game Thorhaldsen against Lagarde. We've got the game between, that's the Snowballs match, excuse me.
We've got Valentina against Bragi, so those are
Valentina,
two of my faves. But I normally have Valentina on my fantasy team, but I don't remember putting her in this time. I can't remember why. Maybe I didn't see her name or something. I always like to give the shout outs to the women, and pick them on my team. But I'm pretty sure on Valentine's Day, it's hard to pick against Valentina, right?
Right, and I'm pretty sure you're not the only one with her on his or hers fantasy team. I can tell you that straight up, because it's Valentine's Day. Love is in the air. Shout out to everybody who has sacrificed a night out with the other half and said no.
But we got to talk about GTO strategy and fantasy, Lawrence. Yes, because I know you're also into gambling and poker.
I've never dabbled, never.
Isn't it better to pick people that are really good, but other people aren't picking, so that you have some differentiation? And if they do win, you're gonna shoot up the standing ladder. So people like Valentina and Awander might actually be worse picks because everybody else is picking them, right?
Right. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I've always been hopeless at fantasy sports. Every time we play the football, I'm down the bottom with my friends. So I'm just like, you are much better at fantasy picks.
Well, so far I haven't been doing that great at the fantasy chess, but I think in general I need to I need to put more time into it and kind of develop my strategy. Like, obviously, Awander was a great pick towards the beginning of the season, but now that he's on fire and everybody knows it, I feel like you got to zig while they zag and zag while they zig. That's the idea, I think.
That's right.
To maximize your fantasy chances. On the other hand, if somebody's on fire, you want to keep catching them. So
you do.
It makes it interesting, but the best you can get is somebody that's going to crash that other people don't realize are going to crash. So we'll see what happens this week with Valentina, but I agree. A lot of people have her today.
For sure.
This position, just a position. White's a bit better. 95 seems like a nice move. Kind of a tough position. It's always tough for me to play positions like this with black because there's nothing like horrible about the position, but there's a lack of active ideas.
Well, now, thanks for that, Jen. If we ever face off over the board, I know exactly what I'm going to be playing. I'll put my knight on f3 on move 1 and just say, come at me. Come at me. See what you want to do. Okay, so let's go to another game because this isn't so interesting for the moment, it has to be said. Anywhere else you want to go? So we've got the Michelangelo game, of course.
Well, I want to see what happened.
We've got a whole bunch of games. Oh my goodness. We've got too many games.
George Meier's game is starting to get more interesting, Lawrence. Okay. And I really like, it seems like George's position is very enticing. I mean, it looks like, visually, it looks like he's up a pawn, but now that I'm actually counting them, they're actually equal. But the pawns on Meier's side are just so well protected. And whites are scattered all across the board. By the way, I see a lot of people in the Twitch chat who are absolutely furious that I suggested Awander might not be the best pick. They said that anybody would be a fool not to pick Awander. And I can certainly see why they would say that. I mean, that kid is totally crushing. Yeah. I was just trying to make a like a math point. Nothing against Awander, who I'm a huge fan of as well. And shout out to Pittsburgh team for, they're just so good at promoting. I feel like I'm constantly seeing some kind of tweet about Awander and the Pittsburgh team, who also has another one of my faves, Jennifer Yu, who just got her second IM norm.
Jennifer, when I came to St. Louis, met her, they're extremely talented. I think she's even touching 2,400 now, or thereabouts. So she's going to be vying for the US ladies top boards very, very soon. I mean, maybe she's already number 2 or 3 by now in the whole country. So she's extremely strong. And and as for Awander, it's really a wonder why you haven't got him in your team, to be honest, Jen. I thought you would have done that, but
I think I might have picked him anyway. I just remember thinking about that. Okay. I'm gonna pull up I know it was a real tough choice for me because there was somebody else who was very enticing as well. But I am gonna pull up my team and I'll make a few comments.
You do that. In the meantime, looking at this position between Mossad and Georg Meier, it does look as though Mossad has got a few issues. This knight on h2 is very poor. This bishop on f1, not much better. Nor is the bishop on c1, nor is the rook on e1. In fact, if I had to guess, I would say that black is completely winning here. That said, black's king is a bit open, so with blitz, you do have some small chances. But also this d pawn is running down the board, but I'm going to go for a clean Georg Meier conversion here. If I had to put my Valentine's money, do I buy flowers? No. Do I buy gifts? No. We put it on the Pro Chess League. Gamble it up. Let's go.
I love it. I love it, Lawrence. And speaking of gambling, I did pick Awander.
You did.
I just remember I was thinking about it and thinking that everybody would be picking Awander, so it wouldn't be as powerful. But yes, big stuff here. And I understand you're not getting your girlfriend flowers for Valentine's Day.
No, I just want to put a caveat out there that if she is watching, which is quite likely, I got you everything and relax. I'm in a different country at the moment, so it's a bit tricky, but they are coming. Not to mention, by the way, a Valentine's weekend booked in Reykjavik next weekend. So I'm going to be reaching out to the boys, the Puffin boys, to give me some recommendations because we're going to watch the Northern Lights and
my God. Well, you win.
Oh
I'm going to have to tell Daniel about your Valentine's Day weekend trip in Reykjavik, and he's going to be.
They say I'm not an old romantic. I beg to differ. To differ.
Unsurprisingly, Lexi Sexy has won on time in that game where the youngster, really had some creative ideas, but wasn't able to get it done with that time deficiency.
Yeah.
And of course, Maxime won a while ago, I think. Yeah.
Maxime did win again. Always tough playing against something like MVL. So at the moment, we can do a quick update. It's 1-1 in that match between the Migraines and the Snowballs. With the
But it looks like Kmar is about to devastate his opponent. He's threatening rook h8 mate.
Ooh, what happened here? Because it looked as though
White's
it
just
was
winning. I mean, you can't stop rook h8. You can stop it from being mate.
Before we go there, Jen,
rook h8 and
we will go there in a second. I just wanted to quickly recap where we were, because after f3, he did in fact go h4, and rook takes f4 seemed like it worked. And the point is, after e takes f4, you don't take on e7, you play the move knight f5, this is much better, hitting the bishop, and now go h3, and then suddenly black's got no way to jam things up down the g file. That's the maximum pressure he can apply. And then Kmar just outplayed Gozoli seamlessly. And here it looks as though it should be mate, like rook h8, king g6. King g6 will be played, and now
we'll just play rook h6, g takes h6, and then we have queen e, or knight takes h6.
Knight takes h6 is good enough. Yeah, and that's resigned.
We have queen e8.
Right, and rook g8.
And rook g8, and you're losing your queen because bishop g7, rook g7, and there it is.
What a win!
Won by resignation.
What a start!
And that means that puts the pressure on Anuel, Jules Mossard, but his positions, we just last time we looked at it was not good.
His position
against
still not
George
good.
Meier. But let's keep our eyes in that game till it's over, Lawrence, because there's lots of pieces left on it, and each player only has just over a minute, and Mossard is actually going under a minute now. So if George Meier wins this game, that'll be a massive start for the Snowballs, right? 3-1.
Be a huge start, absolutely. Just a huge start for the Snowballs. And remember, a win for them this week. Let's quickly check the league table again for everybody who's just joined us. This is the league table. If the Snowballs take out the Migraines, they join them at the very top and put a real distance with the rest of the pack. The Turtles and the Blockbusters on 3 points each. They are, of course, also going to be vying for a win. But a win for the Snowballs would be massive. And, the Turtles will be looking for some favours this week if they're going to maintain their third position. They were the early leaders in this league, if you remember. They started very well, but had a slip up last week. So, okay, let's go back to the game. So B5 now on the board, and
B5 just played.
What is this? So B5, Queen C3. Okay, Georg Meier, if he wants the queens off, he'll go for it. I tell you what, he's probably the top. The player who's got the less queens on the board percentage, or exchanges them more than anybody else I've ever met, loves the queens off the board and has a huge
So queen
score.
C3, bishop D3 is the only way to keep them on the board, Lawrence.
This is hopeless. This is absolutely hopeless.
But you could just play knight C5 and therefore force the queens off the board at some point soon, I think, because, I mean, you can try to stick with it and be stubborn with rook d1, but all these pieces look very loose.
Bishop h6 ends the game immediately because you just go c2 and rook d1, and it's just hopeless. Georg will just grind out. You know, he might even go like knight a5. That's also a very good move. Knight a5, bishop b5, just go a3. Keep that a pawn on the board, or rook d1.
And there it is, rook d1 and resigns. Huge start for the Snowballs.
Huge. 3-1. Wow.
Yeah, 3-1, and the pressure is on the Migraines if they want to keep their top standing here in the Central Division. Remember, if the Snowballs win this match, they'll be tied for the lead in the Central Division. Great time to bring out the big guns, Lawrence.
Absolutely, great time to bring out the big guns. And where do you want to go next? Because we've got the matchup between the Turtles and the Mosquitoes, or we've got the Puffins against the Blockbusters. So whichever one, they are both ongoing.
Well, let's check in on Loc van Wely, because I just love his power chess. I feel like whenever I look at one of his games, I'm seeing these minor pieces on stunning squares. I mean, this knight on f4 is just, the best knight we've seen. I mean, e3 just played by Loc van Wely. really highlighting the power of this knight, because the rook can't go to e2, and we're also ready to play e2 ourselves, just leaving the bishop on b7 hanging. And really, if you could paint a picture of this knight on f4 and that bishop on g2, it would be in strategic manuals. This is the best minor piece in the world and the worst minor piece in the world.
Yeah, I mean, and also the problem is knight takes b7, e takes f2, king takes f2 will just be met by rook c2 check, picking up the bishop. So that would just be way too much material down. In fact, I think we're bordering on resigned territory here for white. The rook's got nowhere to go. e2 is coming next. I don't see a way for white to continue here.
But do you agree with me about Van Wely? I just feel like his games are very clean. Like there's not, like sometimes there's not all those. It's just like you learn positional lessons from looking at his games. Maybe sometimes not as many convoluted tactics as other great players, which makes it really useful for players who want to learn about strategy to look at his games.
Yeah, I mean, I know Luke very well. We have a good joke. We do wind him up a fair bit. But yeah, he's a phenomenal player. He's been a top player for many, many years. And actually, we've got a really interesting mating configuration now, Jen, with rook c2, bishop h1. If I could play h4 here with black, it would be mate. And I'm just trying to, this is where I would start calculating to see if that is possible. Unfortunately, after h5, white will go h4 and ruin the party. So Luke has just calmly moved his bishop and said to white, you've got no moves, my pedigree chum. You've got absolutely nothing to do. He'll go rook e1 because there are no other moves here. And then Luke will decide how to react. He'll probably just go e2, or he'll go, what else can he do here? He'll go e2, rook e1, e2, and then knight d3. And it's just all over. e2, knight d3 is just the end of the game. So not really much to see here. Where else can we go?
Well, we just started up our London team phase off today, by the way. I know that's not a pleasant topic for you, Lawrence.
It is a pleasant topic. Because
your hometown teams, the London Lions and the Towers, in bad shape here in this league, especially the Towers.
Well, I saw them all at the weekend because we played the Four Nations Chess League here in the UK. And I saw pretty much the entire London Towers team. And they said, Lawrence, you were really scathing in last week's commentary. And I said, do you know what? I was way too nice on you guys. You guys have been pathetic this year. You need a change of guard. Drain the swamp. Drain the London Towers swamp, because you guys have been pathetic. And I told them that, and they said, you know what, you're right. On bottom of the league, no points. However, I would urge against us not looking at that. And the only reason being because we're not really, only if the Lions win, there's something to talk about. But some more relevant games, I think, going on at the moment. So we will check in with them, but they are the bottom two teams. They're not affecting the top spots just yet.
That's right. And that's a good point, Lawrence. As the league kind of gets into the real vying for playoff spots, we will be, altering what we pay attention to just a little bit, because, people want to know. And King Loke has won his game. Power chess. Somebody from the chat, I think it was Nitro Sockside. FNCLL says that Van Wely has been playing so well, but it was hard to take him against MVL in the fantasy, and that is understandable. It's very easy to pick MVL, an elite player, but maybe this wasn't a bad pick for today, because remember that the Ljubljana Turtles have a little bit more of a balanced lineup, so it's possible that Van Wely could run the table. He's going to have to face Luka Lenic, though, who wasn't playing last week and who beat Magnus Carlsen last time he was playing in the Pro Chess League on Super Sunday a couple weeks ago.
He really did, yes. And, we've got another matchup here, Pavasevic versus Klein. Not very interesting. Looks as though white is just a bit better, but I think Klein has got pretty much everything under control there. So we can go to another match, just looking here. How about, let's see.
Well, Vanina and Bragi are still, that game's actually getting a bit more interesting, to be honest. Like at the beginning, I was saying it was a little dry and I don't know how Black X's activity. Well, our girl Valentina showed us the way, because now she's got activity. She's actually threatening rook takes f4 in this position.
Well, she can play it. It's her move. It's her move.
It's black's move. So rook takes f4 is going to be played, but she's sacrificed a piece for this position. Is it enough, Lawrence? She's going to play rook a4 and bishop takes e3 check.
Well, after rook takes f4, hold on, I'm going to block that with my bishop. That's my guess. I will play bishop f4.
Oh, okay, so you're not going to go back.
I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to let you play bishop takes e3. So rook takes f4.
Rook f4, bishop f3. Okay.
That's where I start. And now I'm threatening rook takes c5, right? With white eliminating this bishop. So you've got to be a bit careful.
Yeah,
this is what Valentina is trying to calculate. It doesn't look that easy for black, to be honest.
Because if we play rook f8, you have rook c5, as you pointed out.
Yeah,
so you just start piling up.
Yeah.
It's not that good. And if we play d4, just trying to crack everything open.
Well, then your rook hangs. I can go e takes f4.
I know. That's a problem, right? And I don't have d3.
You have check, but I just put the king on g3 or g2. It doesn't matter. It's completely So I wonder. So this is the Valia. She is having a good old think here. She is so tricky. I can't tell you the beating I got off her. She did take on f4.
She has taken on f4 and no bishop
immediately.
No,
wow.
We don't know why bishop f3 wasn't played, but there was something there. And bishop to e3 check played, king h1. Now, is she going to snap the rook off on c1, or is that bishop too strong? No, thank you. I'm not ready to take back the material. My bishop is a god. She played d4 instead, killing the bishop on b2, cementing her own bishop on e3, and most importantly, just threatening queen takes e5. If the knight moves to an unsavory square, we're going to get the chance to play rook h4 with disgusting amounts of pressure on the h2 pawn.
Knight c6, for example, bishop takes c6, rook takes c6, rook h4. But maybe here you can just go h3 and say, you know what, Valentina, a piece is a piece. Queen will come to g3, and then maybe I can just stodge up with a move like queen to f1. And you can't go rook f8 because I've got bishop d5 check always, followed by queen takes f8 mate. So this is actually getting really very, very interesting, this game. Very surprised that Bragi played king g1 so quickly, by the way.
But I would think that instead of knight c6, she might just play... I was thinking that she might just play the knight f3. I mean, Bragi might just play the more defensive knight f3. It seems a little bit more logical, right? Trying to stop all the attacks.
I don't know, because I remain passive and I allow this bishop on. I mean, unless black has got something after knight c6, which I don't see, we are hitting everything. Instead
of, do we have to play rook f8? Maybe we could have done something else there, so like bishop f4.
Bishop c6, rook h6.
Did you look at bishop f4 instead of rook f8 in that line?
Bishop f4 immediately, and if queen,
like knight c6, bishop c6, rook
you want to go bishop. Yeah, that's actually, is that end queen?
It looks a lot more dangerous.
Looks dangerous, yeah.
Than rook f8, which hung the
yes, it does.
d5 tactic.
Yes, you're right.
And you can't go, we should point out to people that you can't go queen g1 because there's the sweet little rook takes h3 check idea. Indeed. After bishop takes h3, queen h3, and you are mated.
Valentina, bringing the romance on Valentine's Day. He did go knight c6.
He's done it. Knight c6 has happened.
Let's see what happens. I'm curious.
Has he also done the same mistake you did and missed the bishop f4 in that line?
Probably.
Oh my gosh. This is great. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody watching. Our girl. Wow, let's do it. Grandmaster Valentina Gunina getting one for the ladies today. We think after rook h4, h3.
H3 is false.
Queen g3, threatening rook takes h3, mating. We don't see a defense after queen g3. But, I mean, we didn't see a defense. Queen f1 instead of rook f8, blundering bishop d5.
Bishop f4, it's going to happen, Jen. It's going to happen. Bishop f4, 1, 0, 1. Wow. That's amazing. That's actually amazing. What a combination.
I love it.
Beautiful.
It makes me really happy to see. Oh,
she didn't see it. What? She missed it.
Bishop f4.
Why didn't she play bishop f4 here? Are we missing something? Are we going crazy? Surely bishop f4 is the move here. Surely, I mean, You put a bishop on...
Was there bishop d5 check anyway,
okay.
but then you just have king
Move the
f8,
king,
right?
yeah. Well, h.
Yeah, anywhere, right?
Probably put it on the h.
I mean, I'm sorry, a square that it wouldn't be in check. Yes, that's what I meant.
Maybe chat can confirm. We're not using an engine here, guys. So we're just going with our brains that, you know, Valentine's Day has taken a lot of energy out of them. So maybe we're going mad. But bishop f4 looks so simple. I mean, why doesn't that work? It must work, surely. But h6.
Yeah, because all the there must have been some queen c4 check, king h8 again. Yeah. Maybe she hallucinated bishop d5, king h8.
Could have been, yeah. But h6 is a huge blunder. Now white has a really important tempo that he's got to use. The funny thing would be is if he can't actually use it, that would be really sad. But I guess
this is Valentine's Day. She's supposed to play bishop f4 and win. Why is this not happening, Lawrence?
Well, maybe Kaisa.
Maybe she'll still win. I mean, obviously this attack is still very menacing, especially to defend against in blitz with Bragi having only 3 minutes.
For sure. I mean,
bishop f4 is still a very serious threat.
Yeah, and now rook f8 is a threat in a lot of lines because this queen has got... So maybe you just have to go bishop c1 here. I don't know. Like, for me, it would be all about trying to get rid of this bishop f4 threat. So bishop c1, probably...
So bishop c1, and then if we play rook f8, like we did before...
I'd probably give a check on c4. King has to go to, like, let's say h8 or something. I'm not sure where the best square is. Probably h8 to avoid any checks on d3. And then I'll just take on e3 and say, okay. And if you go d takes e3 here, then I will play a move like queen to... Where do I want to put her? Put her on e6, probably. Yeah, and the black king still suffers from problems, light squared issues, so you can never really get the rook off the back rank. For example, rook f2, we'd then give a check on c8, king to h7, and here we've got a whole bunch of checks that look very bad. Queen g8 check, king g6, rook c6 check, and suddenly it's the black king that is running up the board, and this is the kind of sample variation where I still can't find a mate here, but it looks... I mean, I probably didn't play it properly there, but it looks dangerous. So I think you should just go bishop c1 here if you're braggy and just get rid of that powerful bishop on e3. What a game, though. What a game.
Really, I mean, really yeah, nice. This is great. Bishop c1 has been played, but he played it. He has less than 2 minutes. You know, I still believe in our girl, Valentina.
I'll tell you what.
She's got the attack in this position, and she's got 3 more minutes.
I'll take the other side. I'll take the other side, Jen. You can have, live on air, your first Valentine's Day punt against... I've got 0% against Shahadi's lifetime. So the history is on your side. I will do it the next time we made up for a lovely... Something sparkling. Could be soda, could be champagne, could be a ring. I don't know what kind of sparkling.
All right, let's bet a high quality box of chocolates on this.
Oh my god, a high quality box of chocolates.
No Hershey's Kisses.
And a draw is void, right? A draw is
yeah, draws nobody gets any chocolate.
All right, come on, Braggy, do it for the boys. Let's go.
Let's go, girl.
Let's go. That's
Queen
brilliant.
C4 check has been played.
Come on, Braggy. Do this for the boys. I'm coming to Reykjavik next week, by the way. So if he does in fact blow it, I will be paying him a personal visit, knocking on his door. Buddy, you know what you've just cost me.
I think you got to send me the chocolates in advance, Lawrence.
I tell you what I'll do. I will actually
skip them.
If he does lose this, I will get Icelandic chocolates for you. Right? How about that? And I'll get a selfie with Braggy with a sad face. Okay.
Yes, okay, that is fair.
That's fair. If he's around next weekend, which I assume he is, I will get that selfie.
And I'm not, if I lose, well...
I also want a selfie with a sad face, preferably, please.
Okay, that makes it a really good bet. So
and
we've got the classic girls versus boys matchup here. We got the
that's what we like.
Girl gambler on the stream versus the boy gambler on the stream. This is about which gender is better.
Actually, I've just seen something out the corner of my eye, and now I'm petrified that I'm just going to lose here. Because Queen C4 check, King H8, after Bishop takes E3. What if you just play Rook takes H3 here? We didn't even look at that. Rook takes h3. I can't go king g1 because queen takes e3 is mate, so I have to take. You take on h3 check, king g1, queen takes e3 check, king h1. And am I just busto here with white? I'm an extra rook up, but I don't see mate for black. I have to say.
But she's still thinking. She's thinking, like, I think, I'm looking at the chat, and
is the chat loving
not
this?
liking your side.
They're not liking my side? Oh no.
Bishop takes e3 has been played.
Please take it off.
Hammer is saying don't make bets when there's a forced mate for black. I don't think there's a forced mate.
Are you serious?
Well, there is. There it is.
You tricked me. I knew it. I knew I got done again.
Queen takes e3. Wait, where?
King h1. Where is the forced mate? I don't see it.
There's no mate.
Is there
a forced mate?
Can't be forced
mate.
Maybe. Where? There's always rook c8 check. I don't get forced mate. It looks like a forced draw.
There's always rook c8 check, right?
I'll take a draw at this stage because my nerves are shattered after that. Rook takes h3 came out of, looks like a forced draw.
I thought you could have taken on. I thought we could have taken on e3 before.
No,
oh no! Somebody's saying she's disconnected. That her connection is horrible.
Please, one time disconnect for the box of chocolates.
What? That would be a classic example of the patriarchy at work here.
Yeah, here we go. That's all we need to get.
It's the patriarchy. She loses because of a bad internet connection. It would really just...
I tell you what, I'm just going to put it out there now.
Thing that
I'm just going to put it out there now.
A name that I'm not going to mention.
I like dark chocolate. If you could make it a dark chocolatey thing, that would be really great. And a little ribbon would be just wonderful. It would add a nice little touch to it, So
this bet is void.
Of course it's not void. We're talking about anything. He could have easily disconnected. We've got a bet. If she loses, I win. And if he wins, we didn't talk about means. No, I'd actually feel bad.
Repetition.
It is threefold, but I tell you what,
Valentina.
It looks as though she's disconnected.
Yes,
oh no, she's back. She's back. I can't believe it. Oh my goodness.
Draw.
But she's moving very slowly. Is she? What's going on here? Is she on a train or something? Where is she playing?
Okay, I'm not betting on her anymore.
She played d3. She didn't go for the draw. Come on, Braggy son.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
This is incredible.
Why
now, this is a girl.
D3?
This is a woman that you want to gamble with. She has no fear. She has 40 seconds.
But it's a horrible choice. But it's a horrible choice. She heard about
the bet, Lawrence.
She did. I hope so. Because it's a horrible choice. I have faith in Braggy. Nerves of steel from Iceland. He's going to find it here.
Wow. So what's the threat now, Lawrence?
Queen e4. That's the move I was going to... Go on, Braggy. That's the move I would have played. Cover those squares. Cover those squares. Queen g3. Queen e2. Let's go. Queen g2.
Queen g2. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we're going to play queen e3 check.
Okay. And then I just go...
you got to go to h1 because king h2 allows rook f2, right?
Yeah. And then you go rook f2, right? That's what you want to do.
King h1 is what's his choice. Queen g3. Check. So now she's going for the draw. Now she's going for the draw later if he doesn't play queen g2 here.
But this is winning. Queen g2. Look.
A minute.
Queen g2, queen e3 check, king h1, rook f2, right? And now you can go queen g4. You cover the f3. I'm going to put that on the board here. So queen g2.
But can I play rook f4 instead of rook f2?
You can go rook f4 if you want. If you want to really upset me.
Yes.
Oh my God, rook f4. I didn't see that. Rook f4. So we're in trouble there, right? We have to go like queen. No, that's bad. Rook c8 check. King h7, queen h2. No, and then rook f2.
I can't believe the battle of the sexes.
I tell you what, I'm losing this. I know he's going to try and win it. No, it's a draw. It's a draw.
You got to draw. Okay. So the battle of the sexes lives on, Lawrence. It was just about to end.
I tell you what, we'll have another attempt at that at some point, I'm pretty sure. Come on, Braggy, don't flag on me now. Don't go queen g2. Don't you dare go queen g2 here.
Play queen g2. Go for it. Play g2.
It's a draw. Offer a draw. Your time's running out. Offer a draw. What are you doing? Press the draw button.
There it is.
All right.
Wow. I just can't believe that came. God, so no chocolate for either of us?
No chocolate for either of us. All
that
right.
is the worst thing ever. But you know what's going on? Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, the games, the second round of our huge matchup between the Marseille Migraines and the Stockholm Snowballs has started. So
has it already? Because we're still lacking a lot of results in the Puffins versus Blockbusters game, and the Towers have got one up on the Lions. We've just got here a draw by agreement in this match, so that means that the Puffins add another point. So it looks as though there's one more game left in that Puffins match against Cannes, which I can't see out the corner of my eye, but we will get updates on that.
Well, it's probably Flavio Perez versus Thorster Thorelson. So if you can, I think Flavio has a handle with the name Flavio in it.
He does, yeah.
So,
I'm trying to find
Flavio. Flavio 89 or something, yeah. Something like that. Yeah, that fourth board, I know because I was impressed by some of Flavio's games last week, so I put him on my fantasy team. And,
well, I can't find him just for the moment, but what we will do is we will bring up the games, as you said, of, for example, MVL, who's playing against Vincent Kamar. So we've got the ex-prodigy against the current prodigy. MVL with the white pieces. And I have to say, Vincent is in a spot of bother here. He's a pawn down. And it doesn't look like a relevant pawn, right? Because you've got these double pawns here. But actually, it's a very, very relevant pawn because of the way the structure is fixed. And if were white ever to get to this a7 pawn, these pawns would suddenly start to roll down the board. So as Jen would say from her other profession, the poker world, MVL is very much free-rolling this position. He's playing for two results. And the question is, has Vincent got any defensive resources? He wants to put the bishop on b8, that's his idea, but very passive. And I don't think he's going to do it, Jen.
Meanwhile, the Snowballs are continuing to dominate this matchup, therefore, because, you know, they're supposed to win on that board. You think, did you say you don't think Maxime's going to do it, or you do?
I think Maxime will win this easily.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But on the other hand, this is going to be balanced out by Jobava's win against Jules Massard, which just seems like it's in the bag.
Well, let's
just got
go
an extra
there.
night. Just got an extra night.
Wow, just an extra night for
for what? For not even a pawn. I mean, black has a passed pawn on c4, and it's black's move, so he can play h5. The knight's not trapped. The knight is
not trapped.
Knight has places to go. So yeah, this is going to be a win for white.
Yes, it is. Bador is just going to convert this easily. It's not even that interesting. An interesting game is, however, Luc van Vele, who is playing against Pavasevic. Grandmaster face-off already. And we've got an opening here, kind of King's Indian attack, it looks like. Random-looking knight here on b6. Don't like that at all. Knights on b6. Knights on knights bishop 3 is always bad. Remember that old maxim from, I think, Dr. Siegbert Tarash. Knights on knight bishop 3. So a knight here, 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 or here is always bad. Of course, that's tongue-in-cheek. But what he's saying is that the knight can often be dominated on those squares. So, okay, so d4 played by Luki. And now the bishop will go to b4 if I had to make a guess. Because bishop d6 might just run into a move like bishop g5, threatening bishop takes f6 and e4 because of this loose knight here on b6. So I suspect he'll go bishop b4 if I had to make an educated guess. But then knight e5 and e4, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here. I like Luke's position. I like white very, very much. Remember, guys, if you are interested in communicating with us, Jen is manning the chat. I know we've got a lot of people watching.
I'm womaning the chat, and you know what? I'm going to open up the chat.
Yeah. Are we? Do I have to say woman in the chat?
I'm biased a little bit so far to the. I've been a little bit heavy on the Twitch chat, but I'm going to also open the Chess.com chat for those of you who are over there.
And if you're all wondering, what are these guys playing for? What are these grandmasters? Why are they not out with their imaginary girlfriends on this Valentine's Day evening? Or not imaginary. Let's assume that they have got wives and girlfriends, because they are human beings like the rest of us. They are not superhumans. What are they playing for? Well, they are playing for the following, guys. 20,000 big ones up top. Second prize is 10,000. Third is 4,000, as you can see by this little graphic, and many other prizes as well, including my favorite prize, the $5,000 best game prize. That is a huge best game. I've never seen a prize in any competition, online or otherwise, bigger than $5,000 for the best game prize. Sometimes it's 1,000.
I love it. I love it, Lawrence, because no matter how bad you're doing, you're always in the race for the best game. So it means that everybody still has something to play for. Also, I love art. And to me, giving a game a prize for just being the most well-played or beautiful game, it doesn't have to be you beating Magnus Carlsen. I love the concept of that.
I love
it's about
it
chess as an art, not just as a sport. Although, of course, Pro Chess League is mostly pushing chess as a sport. I love that we're kind of giving a shout out to those artistic elements. So
I agree.
Great idea.
And not just sport, guys, but an esport, which is really what we're pushing here at Chess.com. Chess is the ultimate esport. You know, you've got your League of Legends and you've got your everything else that's got huge audiences. Well, this is what we're trying to do here. What better game than chess to have as an esport? So, we want to say huge thanks again. I think this is an appropriate moment on this Valentine's Day. Big shout out to somebody who's quite similar to Jen, genetically speaking, Mr. Greg Shahadi, Jen's brother, who's really been the brainchild behind the format for the Pro Chess League for the past 2 seasons. Shout out to Jen. Hope you're having a great Valentine's Day, treating your other half. And shout out also to everybody at Chess.com, especially the likes of Michael Pennyworth, Josh Shampson, the team, and to Marina, who's doing the design, and of course to Danny Wrench, the one and only, for being the guy really who made all of this happen as well. So shout out to everybody at Chess.com as well.
Indeed, I can tell, that it's a great place to work at Chess.com. Of course, we're just, contractors doing these streams, these commentary streams, but it just seems like everybody who works for Chess.com is having a good time. And, that really shows in the platform and how they treat their customers. So I love it. And as for Greg, I know that he loves chocolate, milk chocolate though. Apparently on the Chess.com stream, there's been a heated debate over what type of chocolate is the best. I don't know. I'm torn. I like the dark. I like the milk, but I know that the commissioner is all about the milk chocolate. And apparently, we've got Antonio Esfandiari. No, that's just his handle. I don't think that's the real Antonio.
It's not the real one, I hope.
Chess is very popular among the a lot of high stakes poker players. Your friend Fedor plays chess very well, actually.
Yes.
So it is very popular, but I'm pretty sure Antonio is not one of the chess whizzes up in those games. And this is a fan of Antonio's, presumably. But apparently the Chess.com chat is getting really rowdy, which is kind of surprising because usually it's the opposite, right? That the Twitch chat is pretty crazy. So yeah, but I'll keep an eye on both of them. And thanks everybody for your great questions and comments today. We've got a lot more chess going though. One game I just pulled up is the game between Marc-Andrea Maruzzi and George Meier, which I'm confused. I mean, take a look at that game.
I mean, okay, Marc-Andrea.
Because it just looks like black is a piece for a pawn or two. And I'm just, obviously, we said earlier, Marc-Andrea is getting these amazing positions against everyone. He was actually probably crushing Jobava in some way or the other in their game, although he got into terrible time pressure. And again, he's black and against George Meier, and he's got to be better here, Lawrence, right?
Well, I don't think it's any question that he's better. I would be leaning more towards winning. A piece is a piece. White is solid, but it is a piece. And I don't believe that Bjork has got near enough compensation here. We're still in the middle game. And I think Marc-Andrea is on for a huge upset here. The only thing, once again, that is really making me a bit doubtful is his time. He's always down on the clock. He's only got 2 minutes 20 He's a young guy, as you can see by his profile picture there for Chess.com. Super young guy, obviously extremely talented. And the only problem he's got is he's got to get a move on. So just play anything. Play a6 to stop b5. Just play a6. You know, a6. Some rook cd8, rook ce8 maybe to defend e6. There are a bunch of moves you can play here. But you've got to do it quickly, Marc-Andre. Otherwise you're going to lose on time, my friend. Got to move quicker. And Georg still... Yeah, I wouldn't even bet on black here because it's just so little time to convert this, which is a shame, of course. Because this would be a huge result for the Migraines. If Marc-Andre were to beat Georg Meier, that is a two-pointer. That is the bottom seed beating the top seed of one team, and that is a two-pointer, pretty much. So... we'll see.
But look at this time management, Lawrence, and it's, it's just you feel like he probably needs a little more confidence. He's getting these great positions against the world class players, and time and again, it's the clock that is his enemy. That's his real opponent. We were talking a little bit before we got on the air about mental game in poker, particularly, which Lawrence and I both play as well. The mental game is so important, but it's also underrated in chess. Clearly, this kid already has the skills to upset guys like George Meier, but not with his time management, Lawrence.
No,
he needs to work on that.
Really needs to work on it. Look, he still hasn't moved under a minute now. It's just not enough time to convert against. He's obviously extremely nervous as well. Even playing online in a friendly competition, when you're playing against one of the world's best, you do get nervous. Now, what is this, 30 seconds now? It's now getting actually to the stage where, has he disconnected? Because that isn't actually normal to be this low. 20 seconds coming up. Now, come on, son. Make a move. He must have disconnected.
Lawrence, it's crazy because I guarantee you that if you talk to somebody like Marc-Andre, he knows that he gets into too much time pressure. It's not like he doesn't know, but somehow there's like a second step, right? Like not only do you need to know, but you have to really, really want to change. And
what?
There it is. George Meier won on time. There must, in that particular game, there must have been a connection issue because that doesn't make any sense.
That is really, really sad.
That's too bad.
That's really sad. I've even closed the window because I can't bear to watch that position. There's some injustice there.
Oh gosh, speaking of time pressure, we've got Lawrence Cooper against Gawain Jones, but this is just totally winning for black, but it's just a funny imbalance with two rooks and a bishop versus a queen.
Yes.
That's not something you see every day. Unfortunately for Lawrence, not you, Lawrence, but Lawrence Cooper, not only is there this is Lawrence Cooper versus Gawain Jones, not only is there two rooks and a bishop, there's also a pawn, which makes it an easy game.
Yeah, even two rooks and a bishop would be enough without the pawn, but this is probably forced checkmate, and Gawain will just spend a few seconds here just to work out how to do that. Let's move on to another game. Should we go back to Valentina? Because she provided a lot of excitement in that last match.
She provided a lot of entertainment. I just really loved the way she seemed to have connection issues, and it looked like, she was down on time and the position was fizzling out, and she's like, no, let's keep playing. Let's try to win this. I love the gumption. But where is our Valentine? Vanina 1989 is playing against
Thorhausen, yeah. And we've got a position that's perhaps not so interesting right now, but has definitely got the makings of an exciting position because we have a Sicilian Scheveningen, as the Dutch say. The English, they say Scheveningen, but I think it's Scheveningen, if my pronunciation is correct.
Do you want to make a bet on whether or not Valentina is going to attack in this game, Lawrence?
Well, I know she's going to attack. If there's one thing she can do, it's throw her pieces at her opponent's king. She's actually the opposite of Georg Meier, who I only ever see Valentina giving checkmate, and I've never seen her win a positional sort of squeeze, whereas Georg is quite the opposite. And yeah, well, she hasn't moved here, and I think that's a connection issue as well, because once again, you do not spend 30 seconds on this move. You, more often than not, just take back on d4 with the queen and take things from there. So again, terrible connection issues here for Valentina and Marc-Andre. Maybe it's a France thing. They're both based in France at the moment, right? What's going on there? Have The French.
Yeah, but are there any other? There's so many other. Are there other French players who are having that issue? Like
No,
MVL. MVL doesn't seem to be having any problem.
No, he doesn't. So I really don't know what's going on there. We will keep an eye on that. Okay, let's go to another game. Well,
another interesting game is Hans Stefansson for the Puffins versus Flavio Perez. Got to keep an eye on
Chess Flav.
Boy from my Chess Flav, boy from my fantasy team.
He's also another guy who's been part of various people's fantasies teams for more than one reason. He's a very underrated player. And he's not a bad-looking chap as well. Is Flav, well-known and very, believe it or not, I've actually played Flavio Perez. He reminded me about this. We actually played with the same age, pretty much, 31, 32, in the World Under, whatever it was, 12 championships or World Under 14 championships a century ago. I think it was a draw.
And he's good looking,
Very
Flavio, it's kind of hard to have a name Flavio and be ugly, Lawrence.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's put it that way.
I agree. I mean, he's a very, very good looking bloke, and he also did pretty well for himself, and is heavily invested in the old Bitcoin as well. So there you go, guys. I should really run an agency. I should run an agency here. What's going on?
Hey,
the Valentine's Day Chess.com agency. I will hook you up, guys. Don't worry. Send me a private message, and I'll.
I thought you had your Mind Sports agency, your brainy people.
That's still, yeah. I've still got that. We've still got, with some details to be revealed on that I can't do on air right now. But we've got a few new acquisitions, so pretty happy about that.
Yes, that's right. People who are really smart and also happen to be, good personalities.
Yeah.
I love the idea of them becoming our new stars, Lawrence, our new superstars. And, this is huge when you look at some of the science behind football and American football, both being very damaging to people's brains. Last week, Kasparov said, if you want to watch a sport that's actually good for your brain, watch chess. No, we don't really think chess is going to replace all those major sports, but even just a little bit of that, we really want to get there, Lawrence.
Yeah, it would be great. And hopefully what we're doing here for the Pro Chess League is, very much part of that journey, because we are trying to make chess fun and we are trying to make it humorous and entertaining. And, we've got some great hosts as well here for the Pro Chess League. We've got the likes of Danny Wrench, we've got Ben Feingold, obviously the Ginger GM. We've got some huge talent here. Stefansson, talking about the game though, is going for it on the king side here. Got a very, very standard it's Sicilian position where black has secured the e5 square for this knight, which will post itself there. But in exchange for that, white has got a great square for his knight on d5. And these positions, I always think of Sergei Karyakin in these positions, because he always seems to win them with white. Every single Sicilian position he's ever had, here he's won. He just manages to get the attack rolling, fend off any counterplay down the c-file and win.
Play king b1 at some point to get your queen and your king off of that diagonal.
King b1 is always good in the Sicilian. Remember that, kids. King b1 is always good. And he'll just post a bishop on h3 sometimes and go h5 and g6. And sometimes you land a bishop in on e6 and the h file is open. And I've done a lot of arrows there, but I think the guys at home understand what I'm trying to say.
I'm with you, Lawrence. I mean, you really talked Flavio up there with his looks and his Coinbase wallet, but at the same time, I really gotta like white here regardless.
That's true. He might have a big Coinbase wallet, but my goodness, does his position... Well, we won't even go there.
No, we shouldn't really...
We're good friends. We wouldn't do it if it weren't for the fact that we know each other quite well. So what else, Jen? Any other games that catch your fancy at the moment?
Well, we've got a game between Luka Lenic and Quinton Ducarmin. I just like keeping an eye on the Turtles because they've had such an outstanding season so far. And this is a really interesting endgame position that we got going on here with, I think white must have just played, white just played king e2, and it looks like maybe they're repeating moves. Okay, so this is kind of a fascinating position where I think if it wasn't for this bizarre perpetual, I think white would be doing very well, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird one.
Because the rook on h4 isn't take, the pawn on a5, the knight on b4. But is it not, can we not get out of this anymore? I guess, is king c1 bad because of what?
Probably because of knight d3. So we'll put that on the board. So
Knight
check.
d3, check, okay.
Check.
Yeah, knight d3,
c1,
and then you have time to
check,
interpolate.
And then you take on a4, and then you take back on d3, and the resulting position is very bad for white, with pawns on c3 and f3 hanging. So yeah, you're forced to go for the repetition here with white if you don't want to be worse. And Quentin is just simply too good for you to get into that position. You've got no counterplay whatsoever, or no swindling chances. So yeah, I think he will go for the repetition here. And let's have a quick update on the scores on the doors. At the moment, Stockholm Snowballs are pulling away slightly from the Migraines, 5-3 up in that match. It's all square in the Amsterdam Mosquitoes against the Ljubljana Turtles. The Puffins, I think that needs to be updated slightly, but the Puffins are half a point up against, because you can't actually be half a point up, right, Jen? At any stage. Can you be half a point up? No, you can't. So we've got a bit of an error there on the scoreboard, so we'll get our mods to check that.
No. Remember that.
They started half a point less. You're right.
Yeah, because they had a lineup change.
They did.
So a late lineup change, right? So in the Pro Chess League, there's a penalty for having to switch your lineup at the last minute, because it's obviously would be an advantage if you would do that and not get penalized.
I agree. So they are half a point up, and the Towers are beating the Lions, which is huge for the Towers because, well, they want to get a point, but it also would mean that if the Lions lost, they would both be at the bottom with the same amount of points, which would be, well, actually, the Towers would have 1 point. I beg your pardon. The Lions have got 1.5. That's correct.
So I said that Van Vele is always sitting there with like a great minor piece, Lawrence. And again, he's got this knight on c5 in his game against Papasovic for the Ljubljana Turtles. I feel like I like white because of the pawn center and the knight on c5, but how much is it? Rooks on b2 is also very active from black's plus column. But in the end, this is a dynamic endgame with both players only having 3.5 minutes on the clock. So really anything can happen, Lawrence. I mean, black's got to watch out for just a coming up with d5 and that pawn just storming down the board. So practically speaking, I really like white, but anything can happen. Yeah,
and Luke is always sitting there with a superior piece. He really is, guys. He's a tall guy. He's a big guy. You know, he's low-key, but he's sitting there with a superior minor piece. I tell you, and you know. He's got a good position here. You're right. Rook b3. Now you exchange the rooks. This is a great move. Rook b3, by the way. And rook takes b3. Knight takes b3 will come. And then knight takes a5. And then actually Luke is completely winning. So, bishop d1 is a good resource. Knight takes a5 will be played. Bishop takes a4. And then Luke can probably play e5. In fact, I will bet you he'll play e5. Because after knight a5, bishop a4, e5, you cut this knight off the rim. You're then threatening moves like bishop to f3. And lo and behold, he played e5, not to mention attacking the c6 pawn. It's a pretty simple move there. All right, so Luke's going to win there. And who else?
Nice start from Van Vele. Winning 2 games, you know, without a huge sweat, because it's more in that positional style. So like he's not having to like sit there and calculate everything. That's why I think a lot of people really love playing in that style. It obviously takes a lot of work, but then at the board, it's almost like gliding, right?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And f6 was played by Vachier-Lagrave, but I guess he'll go. I guess what he's calculating is if he goes bishop f3, g6, whips off that knight, and then whips off this pawn on f6, is this good enough for the win? Maybe this isn't enough actually for the win. Maybe that way is not the right way. So maybe he has to actually take on c6 with the bishop, takes, and then if fe5, d5, this knight is still offside. But we do have a position where material is seriously reduced, and I'm not sure that this is winning anymore. So, okay, Luke, of course, playing for 2 results here. We'll see. And he's gone for e6, which is the other move, of course, that exists in the position, because now you'll have both the east pawn and d pawn passed. So after king f8, you can just play bishop takes c6. And if takes, this knight does a great job of stopping this king entering. And this knight on h5 is still locked out. And this d pawn just marches to the end. So this still looks extremely promising for Luke. So let's go somewhere else.
Well, you know which game has actually gotten really interesting is your boy Chess Flavio against Stefansson. I really liked Stefansson's chances, as you were pointing out, how much easier White's attack was than Black's. But I really like what Flavio has done in the last few moves, because now he's got this really nice knight on c4. He's got a bishop on f6, kind of stopping the ugliness on the g file, and the queen is protecting laterally as well. I'm starting to feel like I kind of like Black, actually.
Yes, somehow it feels as though that Flav has done pretty well to get this position. It has to be said. He's got a lot of very good coordination. That's what I like, as you said. He's got rooks very nicely positioned here on e8 and f8. He's got this queen on c7, and after bishop f6, rook f6, unless White has a knockout blow here, I do not see what his... Does he want to go knight d5 here?
That's the question. You know, you know, he just played rook to e1, so knight a3 is for the moment covered, because after pawn e3, the queen still protects c3, but you got to watch out for those little tactics. That's why I was also gravitating towards the idea of knight d5, kind of putting that to rest.
I think if I was Black here, I would seriously consider playing knight back to e5, just to stop any craziness down the central files. And then if knight d5, I can just take that off. And after e takes d5, even if bishop lands on e6, I'm not that concerned, I don't think. That being said, maybe White is still for preference here. But these are positions that people like Stefansson, who have been playing them for years, understand much better.
And attack is what Flavio went for. Flavio decided to go queen a5. You know, he's trying to play b4, Lawrence. He's going for it. Immediate knight d5 from Hans for the puffins. And now you got to remove the knight. You can't let that knight breathe. Bishop takes d5. Let's do it.
Bishop takes d5, yes. I guess
what are you taking back with?
I guess I'll go e takes. I mean, I want to open up this e-file for my rook.
Right, okay. And then you're not worried about rook takes e1.
Rook takes e1.
Because if you play rook e1, I get to invade with queen to d5. Yeah, but kind of annoying. Queen to d2 is what I meant.
Yeah, king b1. And then you want to take on d5, do you? Simply.
But that was not what happened, actually. Flavio decided to let the knight live another day. Probably not going to live that long. Eventually, it's going to need to be removed. But he didn't take it immediately. He played rook f7. And so knight f6 is still not possible. But rook g1 renews the threat. Now knight f6 is a threat. Can't be met by rook takes f6 because of queen g7 mate. So this is going to force the hand of bishop d5, I think. You can't let it sitting there any longer.
Yeah, and the problem with now is that after bishop d5, e5, I am ready just to plonk this bishop here on e6. And there's no way to stop that, actually. So I'm actually swaying now towards a very, very clean win for White from this moment onwards. I think this is now very difficult for Black. But out the corner of my eye, I see two fantastic matches that have just started. First, we've got Bador Jobava, Lexi Sexy playing against Gozoli Nuki, but we've also got the one and only Georg Meier against MVL. That's a huge battle.
That's the match, and that just started, I think.
Yes, that did just start.
This should be, I think, the third. This should be the third match.
This is the third round.
Third game of the Stockholm game, which means that we're basically at our midpoint, Lawrence.
We are at our midpoint. Yeah.
Time goes fast when you're having fun, right?
Time goes fast when you're watching the Pro Chess League, guys. And remember,
Valentine's Day, not too late to get some flowers and chocolate for the people that you love. And don't forget about your mom. And it's not just about your girlfriend or your wife. It's also about your mama.
And your dad and everybody else. The good news is, for my other half, she knows Valentine's Day is every day with me. So... oh
man,
I think she's watching. I just got a message. So, Hi, shout out to my lovely other half, Nadia, if you are watching.
Oh,
Flowers
that's
are
really sweet, though. Every
on
day
their
is
way.
Valentine's Day for his
Flowers
love.
are on their way. They might take a few days to get there because they've only got little legs and they've got to travel quite a way. But the flowers are coming. Do not worry. In the meantime, MVL, is he going to be gifting any roses to Georg Meier in this rather interesting queenless... What? The queens are off? It's a Georg Meier game. The queens are off. Oh, no, wait, sorry. That's every game.
I think you're right. Yeah, queen takes D1, and now Meier's deciding whether or not to take with the knight or the king.
I was being facetious.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, although it wasn't. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. The next time you see Georg Meier with the queen on the board, let me know after move 30. No, but the position doesn't look like it's at all threatening for white at all. I mean, if this is the best white's got in English, are you for real? This looks like a disastrous opening for white. What is this? King takes d1. You've got double pawns here. Ah, you are a pawn up. I see. White is actually a pawn up. This is his justification, although hardly threatening for black. Fantastic bishop here on c8.
Speaking of endgames, you said that Valentina, you hadn't seen her in an endgame, but she is in one right now against Thorhausen for the Puffins. But it's a great endgame because if you check and look, the material is equal, but she's got this devastating rook on a7 and knight on f6 combo, knight on e4. Her minor piece and her major piece are both just so much better than black's. And you got to think black might just go down here, Lawrence. But how does she do it? Does she start with knight f6 check, or is rook a8 check annoying? I think rook a8 check, knight f6 check first seems smarter. Just stop the king from going to d8. But if you go to f8, then I have rook a8 check, and that's pretty.
It's not over yet. Not over yet. King f8.
Because you're sliding out via the d6 square, right? But I'm just wondering if I'm going to win. At least I'm going to win f7 in the end, right?
Not sure you're going to win f7.
But he just decided to play king to d8, and she did not have to be asked twice. She played rook takes f7, and the Puffins trying to get counterplay with rook to c4, rook f8 check played by Valentina.
Yeah, I mean...
89 being her Chess.com nickname.
Yes. And the number of endgames she's ever won total in her life. So she'll have to change her screen name to 90 after this. No, she was born in 1989, of course. For all of you who don't know, Valentina Guna is top 2 or 3 in Russia, women's chess. And in the world, I guess she's top 10. Extremely strong, extremely gifted player who tore up many a grandmaster, 2600 plus, and it has been kind of pinned as a future world champion. She's definitely got the goods, and in this game she is just completely winning against Thorhausen. But it's never easy. It's never easy. She's a pawn up, but feels like black's position is just a bit too loose. As I say, blitz chess is very hard, and it's going to take some converting there. It's going to take some converting. I wouldn't bet everything I have on her winning this position.
All right, but at the same time, you're not betting the battle of the sexes on this game.
No, but I'm still disappointed about that previous game. I was thinking, let me win by disconnect one time. That would be really the run good right there. If I won.
You already felt that. You already tasted that dark chocolate from the great city of Philadelphia.
I would have hung that frame of you with that little parcel. Oh my goodness. Okay. Where should we go? So
the Lexi Sexy's game got underway against the Marseille Migraines, Yannick. Yes. Gazzoli playing for the Migraines, and this position, I think the material is equal, but look at this pawn on e3. I'm okay with black here. It seems like black's position might be a little bit easier to play. What do you think?
Well, I think what's going on is that if white plays the move h3 here, Yannick is seriously considering giving up this knight with knight takes e3, rook takes e3, and c takes d4. And this rook is unbelievably short squares. It would have to go to g3, after which black can start punting this d pawn, for example, pawn to d3, and suddenly this knight has got nowhere to go. If you keep on going passive with knight c1, then you run into check, and then maybe pawn to e3, and suddenly these pawns just start running riot down the board. So I guess that's one idea after queen f6, basically, and now that's why Badur played knight b1, d takes c4, b takes c4, but I really like black here, Jen. I think black's, this bishop on a6, raking down this diagonal. I think this rook feels overloaded on c3. I wonder, hold on, bishop takes c4? Excusez-moi? Can you play that? Is he going to play that?
Oh, I thought you were saying that did happen.
No,
okay.
I'm thinking about it. Rook takes e4 and knight takes e3 with the family fork on e3.
Wow.
And then queen b3 is the only move. So then we could theoretically take on f1 because rook hasn't got a good discovery. So let's say we took on f1 here, and then rook takes c5 check. We'll just move the king out the way. King takes... Oh, no, you can't take on c5. That's the whole point. After knight takes f1, you'd have to go king takes f1. Now you could even pin this rook or play a move like rook a to... Oh, no, rook a to b8, rook b4 check is nuts. So I would probably pin this guy or play a move like... Oh, lots of tempting options here, Jen. Or maybe just king h8. Get out the way of these checks. I like black. Bishop takes c4. Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it, Jen? What do you think?
Yes, he's going to do it.
That's the move I would
He's going to do it. Meanwhile, you know what game is really exciting, Lawrence? It's the game between Hans Stefansson and Flavio Perez that we stopped off on. It's really pretty crazy with the black king on e8. It's very intriguing. Both players have only 2 minutes left on the clock.
Wow.
Queen d4 just played. I think you have it up in your monitor now as well.
He's so resourceful for a player who is, you know, much lower rated. I think he's actually much better than his rating by some distance. What to do here with white? Maybe
takes on b4 happened. That seems risky because you're leaving the a7 square now open for the queen. I guess he thinks he can be safe on b3. So the idea being like, if you let me play queen d1 check, king a2, rook a7 check, I can sometimes just play...
Whoa, queen e4? Wow, that takes no... Whoa, queen d1 check, king b1, king a2, b3 check.
What? b3.
Can we do that? Because if c takes b3, rook a7 is mate, and you would have to go king takes b3.
You have to play king takes b3, that's right.
Rook b7 check, king c3. Are you surviving this? Surely not.
And has he calculated that?
Well, I don't know. Now I would play a move like queen to a1, and white's got no checks. Maybe I wouldn't go queen a1. Maybe I'd go back to c7, and then play knight c4. Oof. Oof. Yeah.
This is dangerous, Lawrence. Flavio,
I mean, it looks very dangerous to allow this.
This could be a huge upset for the blockbusters, but he's frozen. He hasn't made a move yet. He's got to do it. Queen d1 check. There it is, Lawrence. Queen d1 check has been played.
He will go b3. Come on, he did it.
b3 has been played. There it is.
b3, beautiful tactic. Now c takes b3 is impossible, so you have to do this.
Played rook b7 check.
King c3 only move. He's got a draw now. He's got a draw if he wants it. He can check eternally. So he's got that in the bag.
But is he going to go for this idea, queen a1, queen b1, just targeting b2? Or is he going to go for the draw?
Looks like he might go for the draw here.
Well, he does have 30 seconds left on his opponent, but this is a moment. And there's other ways to play for a win. I mean, he's played rook c7 check again. Is this 3 moves already? Hans Stefansson can do the draw now, I think. And he's done it. Yeah. And I don't blame Stefansson. He's clicking on that draw as fast as he can because there are ideas there for black. Queen a1, rook c4. It could get ugly for white, but as it sometimes happens when you're that low on time, you go for the draw by repetition. Still a decent result for blockbusters who are heavily outrated on that board, but let's go back to some of our other premier matchups, Lawrence.
Yeah, let's go back to Georg Meier against MVL. And we've got a really interesting position here, really interesting imbalanced middle game, where black has got a pass d pawn here, but the pawn is nicely blockaded by the king. Normally we prefer other pieces, but the king is also a good blockader in some positions. And white has got somewhat of what we call a bind over the dark squares, meaning that white has got almost complete control. Yes, black has got this dark square bishop, but it's kind of offside here. And I have to say, I think that white is much better here. I think Georg may be playing a blinder. Can he play, for example, knight e4 here? Why can't I play knight e4 in the given position? With the idea that you can't take on g4 because your bishop is hanging at the end of it on h6. And if you go bishop f5, I can just go knight to d6, and then your bishop on f5 and rook on e8 are hanging. So what do you do against knight e4? He wants to go bishop. Does he want to play a move like bishop d5? It's a typical MVL tricky move, bishop d5.
And what about, and what you said after bishop c4, you said knight d6, right?
Yeah, bishop c4, knight d6, but knight e4, bishop d5? Is this MVL's grand plan?
Yeah, but you know what, no matter what though, like it's not, even if you don't have knight d5, knight e4 right away.
Just take it. Just take on d5. Rook takes e4 and d6 is just massive for white.
This position looks good for white, right?
It looks really good.
I mean, you're up a pawn, and the pawn on d3 is just not going anywhere. Right. So white is doing great here. He does have only 5 minutes to MVL's 12, but this is Georg Meier's forte, as you point out again and again on the broadcast, even betting DVDs on it, that this is an endgame guy.
Well, that only happened once, and it was a bit of an old DVD that was just, sitting on the shelf. And actually, that man, if you're watching, I've got to send you a DVD. So if you are watching, whoever that was, send me a tweet again, because that was a while ago. I've got to get your address. I've got to get your address, sir. So to get a DVD out to you.
I thought you said dress. I really am thinking about Valentine's Day. Like chocolate.
Jen, have you got any plans for later? Let's talk about you in this slight lull.
Oh God, moment. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna start playing with big Legos with my man Fabian.
Wow.
And Daniel and I are gonna order some sushi and watch the Atlantic divisions and the Pacific divisions of the Pro Chess League. It's very romantic.
Wow, that is super
very romantic.
Oh my goodness.
You got the Chengdu Pandas. You got the St. Louis Archbishops and the Windmills. Yeah. The pawn grubbers. Everybody's favorite pawn grubbers.
Yes.
Yasser loves the pawn grubbers, I'm sure.
Yasser does love grabbing a pawn. He loves pawns. Okay, where are we going? Let's have a quick update of the scores before we go anywhere. We've still got 5-3 in the Snowballs against the Migraines. The Turtles are a point down against the Mosquitoes. The Puffins are losing a bit of track here against the Cannes Blockbusters. They're a point and a half behind. And the Lions are getting thrashed by Resurgent Towers. So that's good news for the Towers team. Maybe my pep talk to them on the weekend was exactly what they needed. Get their butts in gear.
Sounds like you're a tough love kind of coach.
I am. Very tough love.
You don't sugarcoat it. And look at this, Georg Meier, he didn't play your knight e4. He played the quiet move, f3. And, you can't blame him. Knight e4 is coming, Lawrence. Yeah. And now there's just not going to be any tactics on the menu.
That might be a great move, by the way.
Yeah, patience. Just be patient.
Yeah, that is a classy
Nothing's
move.
Happening.
The reason why a lot of players would be scared to play that because it weakens e3 so chronically. And the first
That's a good point. And you even allow some potential tactics like bishop takes e3 check and bishop c4. But the point is, if you don't have a tactic right now, Lawrence, knight e4 is coming, and then what are you doing on e4, e3?
Agreed. Or even knight e4 after that. So maybe f3 is just the next level of class. That's the difference right there. So knight e4, and also when the knight gets to e4, Jen, the idea is really to just remove this bishop from f6, stick it on a1 to allow this knight to just come into this monster square.
And I've got an alert in the Luke game versus
Luke. Here we go.
Borayek of the Ljubljana Turtles, and it looks like I'm hearing that there was a mouse flip that just occurred. Oh no! It looks like Black has played bishop to h6 instead of h6. Clearly, he wanted to play h6 this position, and he's played bishop h6 instead. How does that happen, Lawrence? Was he trying to like type in the move, or
I don't know, but I can't find the game, so I can't bring it up.
Oh, you gotta open it up. It's King Loke against. Yeah. I'm not sure which turtle your is, but just look for King Loke, and that's how you'll find it.
I can't. I
Donatello.
Don't know whether...
It's Donatello versus King Loke.
Oh,
because it's already over. Okay, but this.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it was just a position with the bishop on c1. The bishop went to h6. Bishop takes h6, and the game was over.
Right.
Poor turtles at the victim of a mouse slip.
Right. And b5, by the way, by MVL. So what is this move all about? A very MVL-esque move. Trying to muddy the waters, but I mean, does it really muddy the waters?
You're looking at the big Premier game again.
Yeah, this is the Premier game. You know, it's really nice to see these top grandmasters play. You learn a lot.
I think it's a good idea. You know, it's very logical. Yeah. Black has no play at all, so let's do something. Let's open up the position for our two bishops.
Right. And now I think Georg is just going to play knight e4, and he does it. No fear.
That's right.
And this bishop on e6, where's it going? It's stuck. No
but certainly Black has made some, like, this position without the A file open. At least now Black can sometimes gain a tempo when they play rook a7 and occasionally consider playing b5, gaining some counterplay. So I think that at least Maxime is fighting. He has 5 times as many minutes as his opponent. So he's just got to try to keep things interesting, Lawrence.
I think the big question is, let's say White were to play the move bishop to a1 here. Is the big question, let's say after rook a8, and now I play, I don't know, a4, and then something. The big question I'm asking is that if there's ever a knight f6 check, is this opposite colored bishop ending with both rooks on really bad for Black? My instinct says yes. My instinct tells me that actually, and he did do this. So we've got this, Jen. We've got this opposite colored bishops with both rooks on. And remember, were the rooks off, this would be a lot harder for White. But with the rooks on, this looks like a fantastic. And Georg is just free rolling, but he's only down. So he's got 1.5 minutes more or less against Maxime's 10. So.
But still, you know, you gotta say Maxime found the best way. Like, you know, achieving this position compared to a few moves ago, a lot of players would have just completely wilted against George Meier. And Maxime found the way to keep up the fight. And I don't know if he's going to lose this game, Lawrence, anymore. I really felt like
I'll take
he would if the times were like 9-9, he'd have a big chance of losing this game. Somehow I don't see it happening with this massive time edge.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll take 2 boxes of chocolates to 1. How about that for a White win?
So I get 1 box. I get 2 boxes and you get 1?
No, I get 2 boxes if White wins.
Oh, come on. Just give me 1-1, man. It's Maxime Vachier-Lagrave.
What we're talking about, you know, he's got 1 minute left and you said he's not going to lose. I need some incentive. I need some sweat. I mean, I know MVL's going to make a draw here anyway, because that's just what he does. In fact, I'll give you that. How about that? I'm so confident in the MVL. If Georg Meier wins, you get 2 boxes of chocolates. And if MVL draws, I get 1 box.
Okay. Wait.
He's not going to win this position. He's a pawn down in an opposite color bishop ending. I'm saying.
Wait. What am I? I'm betting on George Meier now.
Yeah, to win. That's what you said. You said, "Come on, give me." I'm giving you. You were upset.
Okay. So I get 2 boxes of chocolate if George Meier manages to win this game.
Yes, and I get 1 if MVL makes a draw or better.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
Oh my God.
Go, George. 1 minute though. I don't know if I made a good bet. But look at that bishop on h3. It looks trapped up now.
Why do I do this? I always put myself. Come on, move the king.
Rook h1 though. There's always bishop g2.
Yeah.
There's always bishop g2 here.
Yeah. Come on, just move, MVL. Just do what you do. I'll tell you a funny story with MVL. we were at the St. Louis Sinkfield Cup about when was it? Ooh, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I think. And obviously I was there with Fabiano at the time. And MVL got me out the hole of all holes. I was in the hole for a few dollars, to say the least, a few Benjamins, going towards Magnus Carlsen after the tournament finished, after a blitz match that didn't go my way. And MVL was playing with 45 seconds against Alejandro Ramirez, who had 1 minute. And Alejandro is extremely good blitz player. Extremely
by the way,
bullet
one
player.
stipulation: if Maxime wins the game, it's a push.
No, no. We already agreed.
No,
you can wind back the tape. No. We can wind back the tape. I'm happy about winding back the tape. We will get the Twitch chat to wind back the tape because I know I got an MVL draw or win.
You got draw or win. Okay, I didn't hear that part. Okay.
Unfortunately, when you sign on that dotted line, you better read the T's and C's. How about that? Come on, MVL. Do it for Sugar. He's losing the D pawn. Wait, what? I'm dead.
Rook takes
D3.
Over.
This is just over. He gets the rooks off. Please tell me that's a draw. Is that a draw?
What about E5 takes and Bishop E5?
Bishop G2?
Oh no, we gotta play King E. We gotta play there because
King D6. Oh my God!
We've got two extra pawns here. Is this a win or a draw?
It's just a
high
win.
Stakes.
Feels like a win.
This is easy to play, so I'm not worried about George Meier's clock. That's the good thing.
Bishop C8.
Bishop C8. Bishop D8.
King C6. How do you ever attack the F4 pawn, Jen? Bishop E7, okay. King D7? Is that what you do here? Bishop E6, no threat. King D2, bishop back to H3. Bishop back to H3, you've got to, because then if King D3, you've got check on F1. Yes? Bishop F6. I'm sweating here. I'm sweating.
King D6, though, that's a good move.
Yeah, that's really keeping everything together.
Oh, got to come up with a plan here.
40 seconds. Bishop D7, Bishop C3. When's the 50 move rule? He wants to go A5. He wants to go A5.
At some point he'll play E5. I mean, he'll play A5.
Yeah.
At some point he'll play, and there it is, A5. Okay. He's going to play A5 because, of course, we don't really want to trade pawns, but now at least you've got this weakness on C5.
Wow.
Ooh, but B4. Is this a good move?
Yes, I think it is a good move.
Bishop A5.
Oh, we can't defend F4. King D4, it's over. Oh man, I'm such a bad.
Is it over?
Yeah.
Bishop G2.
Bishop takes
G2.
F4 check.
Bishop F4 check.
And King E3.
Followed by.
Oh no, hold on. King E3, Bishop F1. Hold on. Never rule out MVL. Never rule him out. Bishop F1. That's okay. We win one of those pawns, and that's a draw. Yes, you can never, because I just blockade, I put king on F7, and you can even have a pawn on F6 and E5.
Are you getting your king on F7 on time?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Bishop C4, Bishop D4, King D4. I'm coming into E5. Okay, so you started with King D4.
Bishop E2.
Now we can just go Bishop E2 or Bishop G2.
E5. Hold on. I'm a bit nervous now. E5. Now King D7 is the move, I think. King D7 is... Yes. King D7. Always trust in MVL. Never doubt the Frenchman. And now the problem is the pawn is on E5, so you can never give up the C4 pawn, because that's a real easy draw. You can never make a pass pawn. C5. Bishop takes F3. Bishop takes F3. Now we guard C6. This is a draw.
What?
Bishop C6 and King E6. King E6 here is just dead draw. C'est la vie. C'est la vie, Genium. I'll send you my address. I'm never been against a Frenchman. He's always come through for me, this guy. Yes. In fact, I might as well give you my girlfriend's work address. You can just send them directly there. How about that? Hold on, wait. Is this so easy? Wait a second.
You can't. What do you do now? The king's coming in.
There's always this E6 check at the end. Wait a second.
E6 check. E6 check.
No.
E6 check.
King
oh my
D7.
God.
Okay, put a bishop on
What's going on?
c6. Bishop c6, check. No, it's over. It's not. Bishop c6 and the bishop on e8. Please tell me that holds. It doesn't feel like it holds. He's only got 17 seconds.
No, you're going to lose. Bishop f7, c6 check. Bishop c6 check. We're coming around the other way.
No, we're not losing this.
Oh, you're losing.
Are
c6.
we?
Bishop c6, king g6.
Okay.
c6, you're dead. I'm winning both pawns.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. King g6.
I put bishop f3. Bishop f3.
Okay. Well, yeah, but
hold on. But why is this winning? I put a bishop on d5.
Dude, at this point you're in denial, Lawrence. Come on, we're gonna
Bishop
win.
e6. He's a genius. He's a genius. Bishop e6. You can't take it because of stalemate. Please make a draw. I'll be so upset. It's not a draw, is it?
G7.
Bishop c4.
G7. Just play G7.
Yeah, but bishop.
You can't play king f7. We queen.
Yes.
We won! Oh my god!
I run so bad.
I've never seen you win a bet in your life, Lawrence. I really thought I was gonna lose.
Oh, for God's sake! Oh. 2 boxes of chocolates. Are you for real? Are you actually for real?
This is great.
I'm single-handedly supporting the Shahadi family this year. Ridiculous.
Well,
I'm never betting on him again. I hate him. Right, let's move on.
But in a way, I lost because the weight loss, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay.
One dark, one milk.
Good
one
story.
dark chocolate, one milk chocolate.
All right, you got it.
I'll take it.
Oh,
that was
great.
Amazing.
Oh my God.
Victory.
Victory is sweet. It's so sweet. Lexi Sexy did beat Nuki in the meantime.
To everybody who ever makes bets, find out what Lawrence is doing. Do the opposite.
I agree in anything. Oh my God. Right.
Oh man.
Oh. Geez.
Okay, but let's move on.
All right, let's go on.
To another game. How is? Oh, okay.
Well, the Snowballs are massacring now.
Lexi Sexy won ages ago.
Yes, the Snowballs are just killing them.
Yeah, we saw that.
They are 8-4 up, Jen. They are 8-4 up with 1 round to go. They only need half a point. The Snowballs are going to win this week, barring a complete meltdown in the final round.
Well, I mean, this is huge. I mean, George Meier beating MVL. MVL is not really supposed to lose a lot of games.
He's really
and
not.
It's especially in a match like this where they were already in trouble. It makes sense that they lose after that game. That was critical not only for my chocolate store, but also for the Snowballs who, you said it, Lawrence, don't bet against George Meier in an endgame.
Yeah, he's a brilliant endgame player. Fair play to him. I know a lot of people that wouldn't have won that endgame. A lot of Grandmasters would not have won that endgame. And he just found a way, and it's sickening, to say the least. It's really sickening.
It's sickening. It's almost sickening. Like you ate 2 whole boxes of chocolate.
It's the worst.
The feeling after that.
I felt much better, losing a few $100 to your brother. Let's put it like that. I mean, come on. When am I going to win a bet against the Shahadis? I've never won. I've got a 0% record. This is ridiculous. Okay. Let's go to another game. So the Snowballs, as things stand, they are absolutely cruising against the Migraines. 8-4, only need half a point. The Amsterdam Mosquitoes up 2 points against the Ljubljana Turtles. They are also on course for a big score. Can against the Reykjavik Puffins is a bit closer, 4.5 against 3 points. And the Towers are edging against Lions. So I think we should go to Ljubljana Turtles games. Let's go to David Klein against Michelangelo here.
Michelangelo.
And, yes, and we've got a position here. Klein with White playing Lenich, aka Michelangelo, and it looks like an amazing position for White. Got a beautiful knight here on f5, and all he really wants to do is be able to swing this rook round to h4 and start attacking this weak guy here on h7, but that is easier said than done. What's going on here?
But the only bad thing in White's position is that bishop on c2, right? All the other pieces are working.
Yeah, all the other pieces are work. Well, the bishop on b1 is dead, isn't it? It's a horrible bishop on b1. But then again, it's not as if black's pieces are actually quite good. This knight has got a route into the game, and this bishop on c8 actually does a good job patrolling that long diagonal from c8 to h3. So, yeah, I mean...
Meanwhile, an interesting game to me is Valentina's game against Gretarsson.
Yes, we've got Greta. And my boy, shout out to my boy, by the way, Jobava, aka Hjopi Gretarsson, who is... oh, I don't know if that's my connection or... don't think it was. It seemed like it just paused briefly, but it looks as though we're okay. Shout out to my boy Hjopi, who recently became a father, and obviously a very strong grandmaster. And when I said to him, dude, I'm coming to Reykjavik next week, I'm so excited, he said, I'm really sorry, man. I'm coming to England. So we're swapping places. He's going to see Manchester United play football. I said,
oh, great. Are you going to be, you're staying at each other's places? Like
no.
Chess players couch surfing?
No, I wish I knew. I was actually just going there to get tips off him, but he's not even going to be there and show me around. So I'm going to be in the sun. I'm going to be searching for chocolates in Reykjavik, you know, like a headless chicken. Reykjavik special for Jen, I think, actually.
But this is a big... So we just had a kid, though. Congratulations.
Yes.
That's a nice thing about the Pro Chess League. We had another father in this division.
We did.
Sebastian Maze is also recently had a child. And, you know, they can play some Pro Chess League games even as they take time off from travel. So it's really awesome. And I like to hear about that. But the Puffins, do they still have a chance in this match? Yes, they do. But really the pressure is on for them to win these types of positions, these kind of like interesting double-edged positions, because they need to make up that point differential. It's actually 1.5 points, as you mentioned earlier, Lawrence.
Yes.
Because the Blackbusters would normally be up 2 points, but they come in with a 0.5 point disadvantage due to a lineup change.
Right.
So adds a little bit of a different than usual math situation. But the point is, the Puffins got to make up some points.
Well.
And here, it just feels like it could go either way. I mean, this pawn on g4 is powerful, but at the same time, if Valentina starts to, you know, play moves like c5, b5, it could turn the tables, and white could be better.
I actually think white is already better, if I'm totally honest. I think Valentina is much better here, because this bishop is looking at this queen. c5 is already a kind of serious threat. And if the bishops get active here, I think this position can be much, much worse for black. So I think Valentina is in full control here. Also, this kingside, she's a sort of player who can just rip apart this kingside. You know, ideas like c5, bishop c4, and some kind of rook takes e6 in the future, especially if this queen were to dart down to, you know, somewhere like a4. So I don't like black's position at all, and I think Hjopi is not happy whatsoever. You know, so queen a4 has been played, and I'm hopeful for Valentina. And I've learned my lesson, Jen, by the way, in my short history of wagering against the Shahadis. I've learned never to try and get back your losses and double down. So you have just got those chocolates. They are yours. Be happy. Share them with little Fabi. All right. I'm sure he'll love some chocolates. Is he eating chocolate?
I mean, he loves food, man.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a great diet, because now anything I eat, Fabian will have like a third of it. So it's like...
Right. You know, he can have some of those chocolates as well. Say Uncle Lawrence.
I don't want to be called a bad mom. If I give my little son like 6 boxes of chocolate and he gets addicted to sugar,
that's true.
Child services might come after me. So
that's true.
We'll see. Maybe I'll give him a taste, a little taste.
Give him a taste. Yeah, give him a taste. Okay,
a taste of victory.
Whoa,
he needs to have a taste of victory. To smell the blood.
He'll smell the blood. Gunina has just played f4, by the way, which is a great... I told you she's going to rip open that position, and she's found a way to go f4 and f5 and just basically blast open this kingside position, because the bishop, the queen, and I think I don't see Jobava saving this. I just really don't. She's just too good in these positions.
And she's got twice as much time. And I just love this move, f4. I mean, because to me, it kind of felt like White was playing on the queen side. And she's like, hello, I'm on both sides now.
Yeah.
I mean, in the last couple of moves, at least. And of course, there's always these ideas of bishop g6 or rook e6 that can be in the position. But instead, she's just going for the very direct f5 idea. Game's not over, but boy, is this hard to play for Black, Lawrence. Really this is just a lot more fun to play for the white pieces.
And f5, just get on with business. Just get on with business. f5, don't worry about the quiz. Knight c5.
A nice defensive move by Gutarsson.
But just f6. Now she's just saying f6. f6, Jen. Now where's your bishop going? Bishop has to go to h8. And now she's going to be doing all kinds of nasty stuff here. I wonder how she's going to start.
But she's gonna lose. I mean, it's annoying to lose that bishop on d3. I wanted to keep that bishop on the board.
I think she's going to play a move like. Well, she took on b4 first. Okay. Queen takes b4, I guess. I mean, maybe Hyopi, maybe I've written him off too soon. Maybe there is no win here. Maybe it isn't easy at all for Valentina. I don't see anything clear. I actually have to say.
I understand why you're writing him off. She's got the initiative and she's got 4 extra minutes on the clock. That matters, you know? I mean, that's almost like being up a pawn, really. Yeah. This much time advantage.
Bishop f5! Yes!
Cool. I love it.
Yes. Bishop f5.
So if bishop f5, pawn takes f5, we've got queen g5 check, queen h5 check. And
well, just eventually you will just win. You'll probably mop up all the pawns before you start thinking. And in this position here, you can go queen g4 check, king h7, and now rook to e5. Looks terminal. With rook coming over to h5, that looks good enough for the.
So bishop h6 played.
Oh, bishop rook d6 and bishop h6. Hold on. If bishop takes f6, what does she want to do there? Bishop takes f6? She just wants to go queen g3 high. So tricky.
Oh, I love it. Queen g3 and then bishop takes g6 is on tap. And you're hitting the rook on d6. Nice eye, Lawrence. That is tricky. That's what I mean. When you got 5 extra minutes and you're putting traps like that on the table, this is too difficult to defend. But this is huge. This would be huge.
If I were black here, I would play rook takes f6, probably. Well, maybe not. It's really tricky. Rook takes. What a tricky position to play here. I don't know what I would play actually. Maybe maybe no. I mean, never play against Valentina Gunina. Basically, is the best advice I could give you because she's just brutal.
Not on Valentine's Day.
Not on Valentine's Day.
Don't play against Valentina on Valentine's Day. Just shout out. It's great to see her doing so well.
Oh, we've got a visitor. We've got a visitor, Jen. Now, I saw something. I think we've got a visitor on Valentine's Day. I think we're going to have a little time out from the chess here. Let's get our love. Let's get our. Can we get some? Can we get some hearts in the eye emojis? Can we get some emojis in the chat for Lil Fabi, as you can see crawling in the background there. Look, there he is by the door, guys. This is look at that. He's closing the door, shutting the door on his dad. Can we get Lil Fabi on screen as a little just to remind ourselves of what's really important in life, guys. Look at this little dude here. Now, if that doesn't make your heart melt, I don't know what does.
What do you think, Fabi?
What do you think, Fabi, dude? Do you like Valentina Gunina? Do you like her position, dude? He's like, you're looking forward to the chocolates, Fabi, that Uncle Lawrence is going to send. How about that? He's like, where's his voice coming from? He's like listening to his voice. He doesn't understand where the voice is coming from. All right, Fabi.
Bye, Fabi. Mommy will be back in a minute.
We've got to... He's staying. He's staying. All right, I'll continue looking at this. We've got...
Oh, and Queen takes f8, and now she's just going to win easily.
She is going to win that, but I've got some important news, breaking news, guys. We've got the match of the entire, maybe not just the round, maybe not even like this week. I'm talking about match of the league thus far. That's how far I'm going. We've got MVL against Badur Jobava, two secret swindlers, hackers, tricksters, a lot, who can play other positions as well. We've got MVL against Badur Jobava right now. On board one, Leon Beast against Lexi Sexy. And look at the position we've got. Punting Harry up the board. Here we go. Harry the H-pawn, pawn to H4. If Simon Williams can do it, so can MVL. And I love MVL's position. This looks absolutely gross for Badur. And these guys, these are real two superstars, obviously. Badur Jobava. If Badur was a bit more consistent, Jen, he would be top 20 in the world because he's got the talent. If he had the dedication and the devotion and the commitment to the cause, he would be top 20 in the world.
Boy, do we love watching him play. You know,
He's
that's
so
the
much
thing.
fun.
It's great to have players like that. And we have some brutal chats in the Twitch. Somebody says that Fabian has more hair than Greg.
He does, and me combined, by the way. You know.
And he already got a haircut.
And he already got a haircut. He's going to be, you can tell by his dad, he's going to have a mane, that kid. What a lucky boy. Huh?
And we've got, and we've got some other comments coming in on the chat. I mean, thanks everybody for keeping it a relatively clean and all the mods. We got a lot of people saying that they wanted the kid to commentate on the matches. Yeah, I mean, maybe he'd do a better job of predicting some of these games than you, Lawrence.
Yeah, he'd certainly be a better punter than I was. That's for sure. But yeah, this position is really interesting. Yeah, carry on. Have we got any other interesting, insightful messages in the chat?
Yeah, we have some people tweeting at us as well. The London Lions, I actually got a chance to just peek onto Twitter, and the London Lions said that they were sad that we didn't mention them enough today.
Yeah.
But I mean, didn't they lose today?
No, well, they're still playing.
I mean, obviously they're still playing, but I thought that they were down a couple points. And
they're down 6-3. I know the Lions. I know they're not getting a lot of airtime today, but it is because, you know, unless they were to win the match, which they're not going to do, they are effectively out. They're going to be knocking the Towers out, and then they've got no real hope. So I hate to say it, when you've got, whoa, look at this, Jen! Look at this move! Knight H6 check in your face, my son. God. Knight H6 check. This is a stunning move. And if G takes H6, Queen up to D4, have a bit of Queen H8 for breakfast. And if Bishop E6, you're just going to go.
And what about Bishop? Okay, so if Bishop F7, I mean Bishop E6.
Yeah, Bishop E6, Queen H8 check, King F7, and here surely Queen H7 check is the end of the game. Bishop G7, Queen H7, mate. Have a bit of that, Badur.
And there it is. Queen D4 is coming, and Maxime is going to force resignation.
He is going to force resignation.
Bishop but is it going to be too little, too late for the Migraines?
Wow! What a move!
Because the Stockholm Snowballs only need half a point to clinch the match, Lawrence.
That's amazing. Rook E5,
but we can just play Queen takes E5.
You can, yes.
Queen takes E5
and Bishop
all of
E8.
the same tactics stand.
Well, hold on. Bishop E8. He found a way to survive a bit longer. King F7, but Queen H7, King to E6, and now Knight D4, King to D6, and.
But now White is also up material.
Why did he play that so quickly? I mean,
but we're just up a rook. We're up a rook, Lawrence.
No, we're not. We're up No, we're up a rook. You're right.
Yeah, so it's not like we even need to find a forced mate. We're just up a rook.
And MVL,
and there it is. And that's why Maxime Vachier-Lagrave has won by resignation. So great victory, but that means that the Migraines would have to literally win on all three boards to save the match, and that seems pretty unlikely. But before we move on, let's see if that happens. George Meier playing black can clinch this match with a draw, and it looks like it's 6 pawns versus 6 pawns.
But George Meier in a bit of trouble, no? Because this B7 pawn is hanging.
Well, we do have queen. It is our move. It's check and it's our move. So we could play queen c8.
Yeah, and then I thought maybe white can play something tricky like queen a7. Is that possible? Attacking the knight on b6.
Okay, so yeah, this game is still tense. Good point. So, but remember, we just need one win. So let's take a peek at the other games.
Okay.
I mean, one draw rather. We don't need a win. Vincent Kmar playing against Jules Massard.
Yeah, let's have a look at Kmar.
I mean, this is a very
this is a really
wild one.
But this feels like the sort of position you take white every day in a blitz game. What is this knight doing on g4?
Agreed. I mean, you can even just kick the knight with h3 and notice that if you play knight e3,
you can get away with knight e3.
Bishop e3, king b1, and your queen is on the same file as the rook on d1, which is just annoying. Maybe we just start with king b1, Lawrence, though. And now our idea is to play h3. Your knight doesn't really have a good spot.
Yeah, I like king b1 a lot. I like king b1. I think he will do that. Or he'll play a move like... no, he'll go king b1. He will play king b1, I'm pretty sure. Bishop f5. Oof. It's getting very, 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 very tense. But Vincent Kmar at the moment is on how many points?
Somebody just asked in the Twitch chat, the commentators keep saying we. Who is we? We is basically the side that we prefer. So if we like white, then we take their side. That's the commentator's privilege, right? Yeah. We are whoever has the better position. Exactly. So when Maxime Vachier-Lagrave plays knight h6, we are Maxime.
That's right.
And on the other hand, when he's facing 4 pawns against two with George Meier, we are George Meier. So that's the nice thing about being a commentator, Lawrence.
It is. It is. And king b1 was played, by the way. Queen to b6, and now h3 your move. He will go knight e3, Jules Massard. He'll take that off. Bishop takes e3, and here I guess he'll go g4. The f4 pawn's on pre, so he'll go rook hf1 with the idea of going g4. And white is better, space advantage, more prospects of an attack. And
better
really
minor pieces. You know, the knight on e4 is great. The bishop on d3, and those bishops on black side, yes, there are 2 bishops, but they're not really working. And you don't really have time to play bishop e6 because f5 is going to gain too much time. So the black bishop's stuck on c8, which keeps the rook stuck on e8. And I just love white here. I think that this is going to do the job for the Snowballs and win this really premier match today for them, I think. Yeah. I mean, of course, there's still 10 minutes on the clock for each side, so it's early to call the game, but it's hard to imagine the Migraines winning on every board, right?
Well, stranger things have happened, but I would agree. I think it would be a huge upset if the Migraines managed to win the rest of the boards. But let's check them out. Let's quickly go to this Nuki match again, because Nuki has to win against the formidable Georg Meier.
Oh my gosh. Do you still have the Vanina game open though? Because she ended it in style.
No, I don't have it open still. I did close it, but she won a great game. We know that she was on for a great game. So
yeah, she won in the end with a nice little queen sacrifice. So guys who if you have that open, just go check it out. It was a nice little queen sack to finish the game and force resignation. Beautifully done by the Blockbusters, who are now in very good shape to win this match, as they now have 6.5 to 4.
Yeah, they're in great shape. And the remaining 3 games we've got loaded up here. This is the game Inna Agrest against Marc-Andrea Maruzzi. And Inna has got what looks like a very promising... I thought it was very promising, but maybe it's not that promising. What's the pawn count? 3 and 3 and 3. So white is a pawn up, but the problem white has is that if c3, then black can just take on e3 here. And you can't play queen takes e3 because of knight c2. And if you play f takes e3, then I'm questioning whether knight takes d5 exists in the position. Bishop takes d5 and maybe queen d6. But then e4. This is nonsense. That is nonsense. So maybe you do just go c3 here, if you're white. Well, she played rook ad1. But now c2 is hanging, so I wonder, oh, I see. That was an interesting move, rook ad1. Because now after bishop takes e3, you can go queen takes e3, and if knight takes c2, queen takes e5. So I don't know exactly what's going on here in this inner Agrest match, but Marc-Andre Maruzzi is going to have to pull out all the stops if he's going to save his team. Let's go back to the Vincent Kmar match against Jules Mossard. Again, white is just a lot better here. c5 by Mossard.
Bishop e6 has been played. Has just been played. That's been the last move. I think bishop c4 and then c5. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Now allowing bishop takes e6, but does that help white? I mean, white's going to be just much better in that position because the pawn on e6 is weak, and we've got this killer knight on d5. Sure, the bishop on d4 is pretty strong. And that is what Vincent Kmar decided to do. He just went for that, and he just moved his rook to f3. He's trying to come to b3 so that you can just take on b7.
It's so strange to see as a young player like Vincent playing Karpovian, if I'm totally honest. This is Karpov all over. This is truly, you know, he's not an all-out sort of... Most players of his age, even of his strength, are tactical wizards, and he's not like that at all. His preference is to play just slow, positionally sound games, and he's.
You seem like you're a real fan of this boy.
Huge fan. I've seen him play live. I think he's the real deal. If you're the best player under 14 in the world, in this day and age, already nearly 2,500, I think you're the real deal. Whether he's the ultimate real deal, time will tell. But there's no doubt in my mind he'll be 2,600 plus before, you know, in the next few years.
Well, he's having a good game right now. It looks like he has everything in his favor.
Yeah.
The tactics, the position of that knight on d6. It's going to be good in the middle game. It's going to be good in the end game. You just got to love what he's doing. And so far he's got 2 points today. So this will bring his score to 3 out of 4 if he does win this game.
Yeah, and how about Georg Meier, guys? Georg Meier is just a boss. 3 out of 3 thus far, going for the 4 points. And how is he doing in this position? Well, it looks as though he's weathered the storm. Definitely.
Yeah, last time we looked at it, it looked like he played queen c8, and you were thinking that white might have a little bit of pressure.
But no.
But now it's white's move. Knight takes d4 is on tap, so white's got to retreat the queen.
But if queen c3, then simply knight a3, and black's got a great outpost for this knight on b5, hitting the queen and hitting the pawn. So actually,
it looks like black's actually a little bit better.
I actually think black is a bit better now. And I think Georg is also in the mood to get 100% this week, including a certain MVL scout, which not only netted him a win, but netted Jen Shahadi 2 boxes. Not just 1, 2 boxes of chocolates on this Valentine's Day.
I was sweating there, Lawrence.
I was really sweating it.
I thought you were gonna win.
I just thought
at some
MVL...
point towards the end, I really thought you were gonna win, and I thought it was gonna be the first ever bet that I saw you win in my life. On camera.
That's so sad. I mean, come on. What is this? I mean, come on. Even in real life, you've never seen me win one. Okay. But I'm lucky in other ways, Jen. Okay, so is Georg Meier going to win this? Probably it's going to be a draw, but I don't know how.
And it looks like there was just an exchange sacrifice in the Kmar game, which
okay, let's have a look. Whoa. Well, this isn't enough.
Yeah,
that's
not. He played rook to e8, and he could have tried something like queen d5, but he didn't like the looks of those pawns, so he just decided to jettison a rook for a knight.
That's not enough. Even just playing a move like rook e1 here. Rook e1. Rook e1 with the idea of f5.
I love that idea, Lawrence. And
or
that's
rook
the problem.
e1 with queen e4 and then g4 and f5. Just go rook e1. And if he goes queen b5, you can come back to c2. He's gone queen d3. This
is not a position where the rooks are suffering. The rooks are good here.
No. Yeah, the rooks are.
So yeah, it's not a place where the exchange sacrifice is usually going to be too effective.
No, I mean black has just got nowhere near enough counterplay for the exchange. He's got a good bishop, but b2 is really easily defended, and I expect white to win. So
another game that's going to be really important is this the Ljubljana Turtles versus the Amsterdam Mosquitoes.
Yes.
That match is actually looks like the closest one that we've got going right now at 5.5 to 6.5. With Luke Van Wheelie starting up his game against Luka Lenic. And Luke has been playing amazing so far today. I believe he's also 3 out of 3. You mentioned George Meier being 3 out of 3. Of course, he won 2 absolutely powerful games. And then, of course, he was the beneficiary of a mouse slip. But still, great day for the top board of the Mosquitoes.
And actually, I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll have a quick look at the individual scores. So on your screen now, guys, you can see the individual scores thus far. Now, it says Badar Jobava got 3 points, but that's 3 out of 4 because he did lose that game to MVL. MVL has finished here today with also 3 points because he lost that game against Georg Meier. So thus far, the only people on course for 100%, 4 out of 4, are Georg Meier and Gawain Jones, I believe, as well as you just said, Luke Van Wheelie. So those are the guys gunning for the whole mackerel, 4 out of 4. And what's going on here in this Luke Van Wheelie game? It looks as though I want to say that Wyatt should have something here. Like, why can't I go d5? That's the first move that I look at.
Okay, so d5 is your thought. And queen e4, another very intriguing move, taking advantage of the loose rook on b7 for the moment. So that's kind of an irritating idea because we like our knight on d7 since it's putting pressure on the e5 pawn. So if we play rook c7, now your move d5 comes with an even greater punch because you'd also be threatening d6, forking the queen and the rook.
This would be really bad. You can't play rook c7. You probably just have to go back to b8. And now is his idea d5, and he's claiming that the queen is better situated on e4. I don't exactly know why yet, but he will have his reasons, which is always good.
And d5 was the follow-up for white. So Van Wheelie under pressure for the first time, it seems, in today's matches. But that makes sense, of course. The last game is the game where he's playing against the Turtles' top board. And the Turtles is a relatively balanced team on those top 3 boards. So it can sometimes be hard for them against, a 2,600 plus GM like Van Wheelie. But Luka Lenic is his match, and it'll be interesting to see what he can come up with here. Knight takes d5. Now, does Van Wheelie need to put his queen on f8 here?
Yeah, because the thing is, if you go queen e6, I'm worried about knight to f4. The queen would then have to jettison to somewhere strange, let's say e8, and then white is just crashing through with e6 here, blasting open the black king position. Maybe, just maybe, knight f6 holds the fort. Can it be? I don't believe it. Takes, and queen takes g6 as a pawn. So I think Lenic has got a tremendous initiative in this position. I actually fear for Luke here because Lenic is, he's 2 minutes up. Luke's going to go into the tank.
And he's played queen e6, so he didn't like the passive queen f8. He'd rather give these extra options to the knight to come to.
And now if knight f4, I don't. But knight f4, I don't see an answer.
Knight f4 and e6 is the problem, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's what I was just looking at. Knight f4 and e6, and I don't see what. I don't see what black is doing there. Looks very, very, very unpleasant.
Is he trying to play for queen f5 perhaps, and just saying, what, if I trade queens off, it's gonna be better for me because your pawn on e5 at least then will be weak?
Yeah, potentially.
That might be the reason. Because that kind of justifies this weird looking queen e6. But nope, he's played queen e7. He's got another idea in mind after e6. I mean, maybe he's going to start with something like knight f6 there.
I think I think he won't go knight f6 because he takes f7 check.
Just takes an f7 check.
He'll go knight f8. I think he wants to go uber passive with knight f8. And then
gotcha.
Yeah, and then after ef7, queen f7. In this position here, well, white can always just take on B2 is hanging in some lines. Maybe not so easy to convert immediately. Not so easy at all. Okay, well, look, we'll come back to that one as we go on. But we should go back because the 3 games are still remaining in this crucial match at the top between the Migraines and the Stockholm Snowballs. Let's go back to Nuki versus Georg Meier. Has Nuki managed to put any pressure on Georg at all? Knight to b5. It looks as though Georg has got an easy hold here for somebody of his ability. Unless you go Queen e5 here.
Well, Queen c4 and at least the pawn on c6 is still pinned, and maybe there's some potential tactics with d6. So, I mean, I'm just saying White can keep the game going. He does have a 2-minute edge.
But Queen c4, Knight d6, I thought was a problem.
Oh, okay.
And then once another set of minor pieces come off, there's not enough juice down here. You can go Knight d4, but even that, you've got ideas like Queen e8 there and Queen e1 check. And, I think, you're going to struggle to win that, if I'm totally honest. No, Georg's just got enough here. Yannick realizes this, of course. The big question is how is Yannick going to keep any, because a draw is just no good. He has to go for a win. So I think he'll go Queen e5 and try and keep some pieces on, basically, but not 100%. Not 100% clear. He's gone Queen c4. Now I do expect either Knight d6, or you could even play Queen d7 runs into Knight e5, so you don't want to do that. I think he'll go Knight d6. I just don't see any reason why exchanging pieces here is such a bad idea. So it looks as though the Snowballs are going to quite easily win, because also Vincent Kmar, let's quickly look at his game. He's still an exchange up. Mossad, at least Mossad has generated some counterplay. Actually, things have gone slightly
it is more
wrong.
Interesting.
Yeah, things have gone slightly wrong for Kmar. He's
also only got 3 minutes on the clock, so but still, I don't think George is going to lose that game. And so this probably won't be enough, but we got to watch it because it's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll quickly also go over to Inna Agrest, who's only got 2 minutes against Marc-Andrea Maruzzi. For the first time, Marc-Andrea Maruzzi is the one with extra time compared to Inna Agrest. And I really like Black's position.
That's the other game that could...
Wow, Knight g4. Inna's going down here. There's just way too many tactics revolved around Rook takes d1 and Knight f2 check, as well as Queen h4 is in the position because the Rook covers the g6 square.
And with only 1.5 minutes left on the clock, but that's great for the Migraines because it keeps the realm of possibility that if something crazy happens,
that would be crazy. That would be crazy.
Oh, that would be the most. We would have bet 10-1 boxes of chocolate on that.
I really would, yeah. To get 4 million,
maybe 20-1 a few minutes ago.
Oh my goodness! I might as well just buy a factory and produce them. And just send you
to pay off all your debts. Yeah.
It will be cheaper. H3, but hold on a second. H3, let's calculate. H3.
Okay, so H3 looks like a good move to stop the Queen H4 ideas from just being totally devastating, right?
Well,
what's wrong with just playing 95? I mean, move the knight. You have something better in mind, Lawrence.
Wrong way. Queen H4.
You're just going to stick the queen on h4. Okay.
Yeah. Queen h4. Let's go.
What's your threat?
Knight takes f2.
Yeah. Okay. This is a simple game. And if we play g3, the problem is you're always...
I wanted to do it anyway. Queen h4, g3, knight takes f2, rook takes f2, and queen takes g3. Hitting your rook and your knight.
That's why Black's going into a long think here. There's lots of possibilities here. There's Queen H4. What else is there? What about G5? And then after takes G4, we have takes on F4. You have Knight H5.
Yeah, I don't like G5 out of principle. G5 is the sort of move I used to play and regret all of my life. So, like G5, he'll probably do it now. It's
G5, Knight H5, we have Queen E5, which looks kind of cool.
That's true.
Threatening mate and threatening the bishop on d5. We also... There's a lot of moves here. We could also play queen G5 or E5 right away, hitting the loose knight on F4.
That's true.
So
that's Queen E5 immediately looks
unfortunately, in a way, for Marc-Andre, there's a lot of possibilities here, Lawrence, and that could be actually that could be a potential death now because he doesn't want to get to a situation where it's 1 minute versus 1 minute, because we see that he can sometimes falter in those situations, and he wants to keep his time advantage here. That's why you're betting on him. You're betting on Black.
I'm not betting on anybody.
Because of the position, but because of the
My betting days are over. Okay, I'm not betting on nobody. Never again.
Right? Until tomorrow. Until next Wednesday.
Until next Wednesday. I'll get them back. Don't you worry, guys. And when I get them back, as the poker pros say, Jen, you can have the small ones, but when I get the big one, it will be the big kahuna. All right?
I like that. I like that philosophy. By the way, actually, next week, there's no show on the 21st. We're waiting for a big day on February 24th. So we're going to have another one of those super fabulous Super Saturdays.
Yes.
And so that'll be wonderful. But that means that you and our show, Lawrence, won't be back to the 28th.
Yeah, and on February 24th, I don't believe we are scheduled.
We're not scheduled.
Okay.
Yes. But
I will be in Iceland.
You gotta watch.
I will be. Yeah, we'll watch. Well, I'll tell you what. I will watch on my phone via Twitch while I'm buying you chocolates in Iceland. How about that? Are you excited about that, Jen?
I can't wait for the selfie of you at the chocolate store.
God,
picking them out.
It's going to be Iceland.
I will send you a photo of Fabian having a little piece.
I can just see that. He played Queen E5. Jen, you're a genius.
He played Queen E5, and now G3 has been played.
Now, Knight F6, he's got all kinds of moves now, right? He's got beautiful... Knight F6, Knight G6 check, excuse me. That's what we call a blunder where I'm from.
But you always have to check this two pieces for a rook and a pawn,
I like it.
And he's done it. Knight takes F2. She's got to play rook takes F2. But then after bishop D2, bishop F2, queen F2, our white's pieces gonna just fall down
because
G5.
Of G5. G5, you're right. That's what he's gonna do.
Great idea. Well calculated by Marc-Andre. He took his time, but in a way I was wrong, because he took his time and he found the right moves, and I think he's gonna win because of it.
Yeah.
So that's the tough part for time pressure addicts like Marc-Andre. He could point to this situation and say, hey, I took 1.5 minutes with 4 minutes on the clock, and I found the right move and I won in a critical game because of it. So how can you tell me I should move faster? I think that's one of the reasons players like this can't cure their addiction, because there are counter examples, Lawrence.
I know another addiction one cannot cure. We're gonna move on to another game here. Vincent Kamar has absolutely bungled it. I mean, we're talking about a bungle of the century. What has happened?
Oh my God!
What the hell did he do?
Gonna win.
What did he do?
Kamar is going down 2 potentially, and that means George Meier actually has to draw.
He has to make a draw.
Wow.
Now,
all of a sudden, this match is much closer than we expected.
Wow. Unbelievable. How did Vincent, I mean, he had everything. He had everything in the position. He was an exchange up. He had the grip of the position. There was no counterplay. And Jules Mossad has done wonders here. Maybe he's still okay somehow, but I don't know, Jen. Like, rook takes h3 and rook h1, mate. Like, yeah, no, there is no okay. What am I talking about? It's just game over. Rook h1 is coming next. See you later.
It's over. You can't
King
stop
c2,
both
rook d3
rook
is gone
d3. I guess rook h1 probably would have worked as well.
Why didn't he go rook h1? That's confused me. Well, he just resigned.
They both worked. And there you have it. And now...
No, wait, what? Yeah, sorry, animal one.
And the pressure is now...
Yeah.
Wait, yeah.
Yes,
right.
that's correct,
right.
yeah.
And the pressure is now on George Meier, but he's going to hold it. I mean, it's just there's not enough material here. I mean, in fact, he's got the better minor piece. So this is going to be 8.5 snowballs and 7.5 migraines. But boy, who would have thought it would be this close going into the round, man, Lawrence?
I cannot believe that Kamar game. I don't know what happened for him to blunder there, but atrocious. The young kid, he's not the finished product yet, is he, to lose a position like that? So he's got to do a lot of work. Obviously, this game here between Ghazali and Meier is a draw on paper, but they're both down to a minute. So Yannick is going to give it a go. He's gonna try, but unfortunately, he's playing against Georg Meier, who is also a bit of a blitz demon himself. If I'm totally honest, he's well known to be an absolutely stunning 1 minute player, and yeah, there's just no hope for White here. There's not really any way the Black King is active. What a shame. What a comeback, though, for the Migraines, right? That would have been great.
Yeah, incredible. But now we got to take a look at the closest matches of the day, because we still got the Turtles facing off against the Mosquitoes with a 1 point differential. And guess what? The Blockbusters win is not in the bag yet, because Valentina is in trouble against Stefansson for the Puffins. So she had some nice wins today, but against the Puffins, it seems like she might be going down. So yeah, Valentina coming into this round with 2.5 out of 3. But here, look at that rook just coming to G7 and just eating H7 and F7. I mean, what are you going to do about that, Lawrence?
Well, not much by the looks of things, because rook C8, I can take that off and do your move, Jen. Rook G7.
And rook G7 is... And we're not down any material, is White. White is just an equal material, but rook G7 is going to be a bone cruncher.
Yes.
And that's going to be an absolutely critical point for the Puffins.
It is.
Who came into this match with 5 to 6.5. This will bring the score to 6 for the Puffins and 6.5 for the Blockbusters.
Yeah.
The absolute closest possible margin. So, wow.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this one finishes. We'll have a look at some of the other Puffins.
B-Man is playing against a game that we haven't looked at these other players. Barcigan for the Blockbusters versus Bragi. B-Man for the Puffins is a game we have to keep our eye on, as this match is just so ridiculously close.
Yeah,
and that one, it seems like White just has like a normal 2 bishops advantage.
This is a sort of position you give it to Yasser, and he would put his, serviette on and tuck it into the top of his shirt, get his knife and fork out and say, yum, 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 I'm ready to nosh on this. I mean, Yasser would just be in his element in this position. And Bishop just sits here on D4, space advantage on the king's side, weak pawn here on D5. Yasser would, if you could say, Yasser, you can have this position for the rest of your life, but, you've got to pay $500. You'd say, "Yep, I'll pay $500 per game to have this position for the rest of his life." This is what he would enjoy. He would enjoy it so much. It's worth $500 a game to Yas. I'm telling you. And Black
it'd be worth not having chocolate for the rest of his life.
Who? Yasser?
He'd give up chocolate.
Does he like chocolate that much?
I think he likes chocolate. Yeah. I mean,
you've commentated with him enough.
Yeah, he likes steak. He likes good food, Lawrence.
Yeah,
he is a bon vivant.
He is a bon vivant.
Good food, the good things in life, the good 2 bishops chess positions.
But would he give up?
Right, he would just salivate. I love this, because sometimes if we get a position like this in commentary at the St. Louis Chess Club, or for a grand chess tour event, what happens is Maurice will often say slight advantage for White. Yasser will say like White is winning.
Yeah, exactly.
White is just, the game is over.
Yeah. And you know what?
I love that.
There is one thing he wouldn't give up. I don't think he'd give up his nicotine for this position, though, because he does love a good smoke, does Yasser. And I think that one would be tough.
I'm in favor of that, though. I would love to see that happen. Anyone out there thinking about giving up smoking?
Yes.
I read an article once about somebody who gave up. Maybe Mike Klein wrote it. I mean, but somebody. I saw an article about somebody who gave up smoking, and one of their techniques was playing bullet games on Chess.com, because it's so addictive.
Are you serious?
When they wanted to smoke, they would just play like a 1-minute game.
No. Wow, that's a great idea.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
That's absolutely brilliant. Wow, that's just an unbelievable idea.
So and give it a try, guys. You don't have anything. All you have to lose is your lightning rating.
That's it. That is it. Wow. That's
and you have your lungs to gain.
You do have your lungs and life to gain. We did get a draw in Nuki against Georg Meier, which means that the Snowballs have edged it when it looks like an epic comeback by the Migraines was on the cards. Georg Meier to the rescue, probably the MVP of the week, by the way. 3.5 points out of 4. Absolutely brilliant display, beating one of the favourites, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, and essentially being the one who brought his team. Also, shout out to Jobava with 3 points, a decent outing. Vincent Kmart disappointing to lose that last one with 2 points. And
we've got a big game between the Mosquitoes and the Turtles. David Klein looks like he's getting the job done for his Mosquitoes again. Oh no, I'm sorry.
No way. This looks
It's the other way around.
Yes.
White. I got the colors reversed for a second. Boryak actually is just making the match even closer because it looks like he's just dominating here against David Klein against the Mosquitoes. Look at those bishops. Look at that protected passed pawn on b6 and that very woeful rook on b7. So this looks very likely to go in the Turtles' direction, which would make the match 7.5, 7.5.
That would be awesome with one game to go.
That would leave one game to go with versus Getorek, so we got to open that game as well. He's playing against Luka Skuhala, the last board for the Turtles. Of course, it's last board versus last board in the final. And this game could go any way, Lawrence. So this is actually it's kind of one of those classic situations where it's those players on the fourth board. They're often very underrated. They got their team behind them, and they're going to decide this match. It looks like white should be better because of this pawn on a4, but it's hard to say because maybe black's going to get some counterplay against the king. You know, I can see the queen invading on d2. I mean, if white had time to consolidate here, I'd say it's all white, but I don't know, Lawrence. What do you think?
I mean, it's tricky, right? Because, if we can invade, but somehow black's got a bit of a bind there. A bit of a blockade is really the right word. I can't see a clear way for white to win.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think we're talking about two different games.
Oh, which game are we?
I was actually opening the Jazo Lopez game against Luka Skuhala.
Now, do you know what? I cannot locate that game.
It's the names are Terror del Caribe 94. FM Terror del Caribe 94 is the player for the Mosquitoes, Jazo Lopez. And Versin, they're not easy names to spell. I'm sorry.
Got it.
But I really think the match is going to come down to this game.
I got him. I found him.
It's going to be 7.5, 7.5, I think. Of course, that game's not totally over with Klein, but I think it's going to be 7.5, 7.5, and it's all going to come down to this.
Wow.
Which is 2 minutes for each side in a position that looks like it might be somewhat equal. There are some perpetual check variations even that you can imagine with the queen coming to d1 and h5 and some line. But with a minute and a half on the clock, any three results can happen here. And this is probably going to decide the match, Lawrence.
Wow. We'll see what these got. Minute and a half against a minute and 50 minutes. 50 minutes and 50 seconds. Don't say we don't bring you action here on the Pro Chess League. That's why you're all tuning in. That's why this is the future of our game. Brilliant
7.5, 7.5.
Brilliant.
And Queen it all depends on board 4. Queen to a4 played after a pretty long think. You know, it looks like he thought for a couple. It looks like I thought for a couple of minutes on this move. And I'll get confirmation on that.
He did 2.5 minutes. You're right.
Yeah, that's weird considering the stakes and the position. But he thought it was a critical position, so he spent the time and he's played Queen a4. And now the pressure is on Luka Skuhala, who's about to pass the 1 minute mark himself.
Wow.
Is he going to play bishop takes c2, queen c2? Maybe he's got to stay active, Lawrence, because otherwise white's just going to play a4 and win the game. a4, a5, a6. So maybe bishop c2 and queen d5.
Well, there you go. Bishop c2 and queen d5. There you go. I like it, Jen. Knight f3, and I don't see... Well, Luka is going to be... You know, you've got this passed a-pawn. This is the trump in white's position. Is he going to be able to push that up the board? c4, I like that move very much. I like it very much because it stopped white playing c4 and consolidating, playing a4, a5. So c4. So now...
Yeah, that's great because, you know, we're going to get our knight to e4. We can even play queen e4 in some situations and capture the pawn on c3. So... indeed, Queen D2 played by Jazo Lopez, and
actually now you could probably take queens off there and go Knight D5. It's a bit dubious though, probably. So I like Queen B5 by Skuhala. There's no reason to exchange queens.
What I like about Queen B5 is how quickly he played it. Queen B1 is on the
board. Knight G4 check. Hold on, there's a little counter threat here. Queen B1 and Knight G4.
surprisingly, Black actually knight coming to e4 in some positions too. Like Black has some like little trickies in this position, even though the pawn on a4 would seem, the pawn on a2 would seem to make this position all white. It's not that simple. Queen a5 played, hitting c3, g6. Boy, these guys are both on the last board, but boy, are they playing their hearts out, Lawrence. They're playing quickly and they're playing good moves.
They are.
Credit to these guys with really the weight of the top GMs on their shoulders here. Yeah. I love to see these guys step up to the occasion.
Queen b5.
Queen b5. I mean, don't you agree? I mean, they're playing great.
Queen c2, queen a5.
Queen a5, queen d2, but it looks like they're repeating, Lawrence, which is going to make this. Nope, king g8. The turtles do not want a repetition.
Well, he hung h6. h6 was hanging there. Knight takes c3.
Really? Oh my gosh.
But maybe knight takes c3 is okay.
King back to g7. Is there a 3-move repetition?
There's certainly not now, because a3 has been played. Queen a4. I don't know about
queen
a3.
a4.
Don't know about a3. That looked extremely dodgy. Now queen d1 is a threat.
And by the way, it is all on this game because Donatello has won the game for the turtles. So we're at 7.5.
7.5. Here we go. Here we go. Board 4. Decisive result is a win for the team. Queen c2. I know.
And the queen is invading, and it looks like the turtles are on top now.
Queen
Lawrence.
takes c3.
Queen takes c3. Okay.
Is there queen d3 maybe? Well,
he has taken the pawn.
It off. I don't blame him with 25
seconds. King f1. Can white draw this position?
King f6. This is very
King
difficult.
e1, but the king is so fast. The black king is coming right into the action. Knight c6 has been played.
And if knight to e4?
Or b1, hitting the a3 pawn, then there's a4. So he's played knight a4, the prudent choice, stopping the pawn from running. And now he's coming in with the other pawn. Knight a5 played. C3, king d3,
king g5. Oh, okay. King. I would have gone active there with the king. King g5 and try and munch a few pawns.
Yeah, I like it. But I guess he's going to try to play f5 and e4 check.
Yeah, but I don't like exchanging pawns there. He's done it.
f5 played. Pawn takes f5. 15 seconds left for the turtles. 20 seconds left for the mosquitoes. The money match.
f4 is. Oh, he wants to go h4. This is brilliant. And f4. He wants to go f4, f3. Yes, he wants to create that outside passer. And if f3 is going e4, e4. Here we go. Beautiful. Beautiful, Lucas Scarlett. Now take on f3, buddy. Don't think about it. Check.
Oh, beautiful defense.
What a resource.
Oh my God.
What a resource.
Found the defense.
He found the way. He found it. Now
white is better.
Now he can just play knight g6 and win the pawn, and it's all over. And the mosquitoes are going to. It's going to be a draw. Wait, it's going to. The match is it?
I mean, white's better now, right?
Well,
so the a pawn against the knight.
That's true. That's true. Let's not rule out that white could win this.
I mean, it's also, he's got 30 seconds to 10 seconds. Jazza Lopez going for the win against the turtle. And these guys are playing incredible, Lawrence. I mean, I know they've been making some mistakes, but this is a game that's been played
on knight e5. Knight b7, king b6, king d5. Okay, so now,
king d5, knight a5, check, knight, king e5, f3.
Takes, and king d4. Okay, this is a draw because the pawn is blockaded too far down the board, but you never know in these night endings. You never know.
I mean, you never know with 30 seconds left on the board. 13 seconds.
Knight b3, knight. Now
there's still some tricks in the position. Gotta watch out.
Oof. King b. Okay, now now the king's too close. Yeah.
Now the king is too close. Yeah, king d7.
Yeah. Well done, Lucas Scuhala, for holding this as well. I mean. He's going to play on though.
Well done to Jazza Lopez for holding it originally, and then to Luca for re-holding it.
Now you can take it.
And there we have it. Oh, wow, what a match. What a game.
Fantastic.
And both players can be proud of, you know, just doing it for their teammates. It's not an easy thing, Lawrence, being the lowest rated player in the team and having to hold down the draw so that your team doesn't lose. Big credit to both teams.
Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Great. So 8-all in the Turtles versus the Mosquitoes. Very interesting. And we go over to the Cannes Blockbusters match. They only need one more win against the Puffins to bring home victory there.
That's right. The Cannes Blockbusters have 7.5 to 6 against the Puffins. So let's find the remaining games there for sure.
We've got Arna Rowley against Ricky Kitts, aka Gretarsson against Maxime Lagarde, and it looks as though Lagarde has got a great position against Hiopi here. You know, this b6 pawn, just go knight d7 or something here, and it looks as though Hiopi is in big trouble. Also 3 minutes down on the clock against Maxime Lagarde. Not to be confused with Maxime Lagrave, who is a slightly different player.
But there's more troubles. I mean, Flavio Perez, your boy Flavio Perez is also dominating, it looks like, against the Puffins. No, I mean, the problem's for the Puffins, actually.
Oh, the problem is for the Puffins. Well, yeah, actually,
the problem is for the Puffins. We got 5 minutes on the clock for Flavio.
And against 16 seconds.
This is a wonderful position.
This is just over. Rook takes h7.
Rook takes h7 or rook takes a7. We can take either pawn.
Well, you would take h7 here to attack this knight and force the knight back to g8. And then you can take on a7 or play knight g6 check. And
no, white is winning. This is almost resignable. Yeah, so this is going to be the blockbusters are going to win despite this half a point handicap that they have.
That's unbelievable.
Huge.
Wow.
And he felt compelled to sacrifice the knight here, but that's not going to do him much help after knight takes g4. I think that the Puffins are simply going to resign this any moment. Rook f5 check instead, but now we're going to win another pawn with rook takes h7. Yeah, rook f4 and knight e5, and we're also circling your king and threatening knight g6 check.
Yeah. No, this is utterly hopeless. Rook e4. Any move. Knight d7 check is really cute.
Knight d7 check, and we win all your pawns.
Yeah.
Oh, we just win your rook. Sorry.
Yeah, we win the rook.
We win all your pawns and your rook. More importantly,
knight d7 is resigned immediately.
Knight d7, and the blockbusters have won their match against the Puffins despite a half a point handicap in the match. Well done. And let's move over to the Towers, Lawrence, where the London Towers need 1 point to clinch the victory over the London Lions.
Yes, let's go to
for their first match victory of the season.
And let's go to Gawain. Yeah, Gawain, who has got a interesting positioning against Jean-Pierre Leroux. JP, my teammate for Guildford. Shout out to JP. And they're all going to be angry. Well, you didn't look at the games this week. You didn't look at the games. I'm sorry, boys. If you want us to look at the games, you've got to be fighting for those positions. When you're at the bottom of the league, what can we do? We've got to look at the promotion spots. So knight f3 check anyway. White to move. I guess he wants to go king h1, but then he's worried about just queen takes d4. Is he getting out of the pin and hitting this rook? And then what are you going to do here? Not easy. Looks as though Gawain has got one of his typically tricky positions that he manages to just play in somehow. So queen takes d4, c3. This is what I had actually seen, and I guess he's going to play queen to d3 here. Gawain's idea, which he does.
Yeah, you got it. Queen d3, and such pressure on white, who is in a time crunch here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I like Gawain's position here. He's also massively up on material, right? He's got 5 pawns against 4 with some more goes dropping. Also, Gawain is ready just to go f5 at the right moment, just to open up this bishop against the pawn on c3. You can't get the rook in easily with white. I fear for Jean-Pierre, and I think this is the game that's actually going to bring home the win for the Towers. Bishop d6 played by Jean-Pierre. Okay.
Although I gotta say, Thomas Rendell has got a dominating position against Arslan Ochiev as well.
Right.
It looks really like a beautiful kind of like Roy Lopez type position where we've got this beast on f5 and domination on the f file as well.
And he's taken on g7. That's gorgeous. King takes g7, queen g3 check is the idea by Thomas. Not sure how
well played. Thomas Rendell potentially winning this game before Gawain. I mean, Gawain's not winning. Gawain's just got an interesting position. It's nice to see the Towers clinch a victory, and it could be Thomas Rendell who gets it done. So shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Thomas Rendell.
And rook takes f6 here. It's got to be over, right? We are winning how many pawns?
Yeah, too many.
7, and we're going to win another one.
And it's mate.
We're up 1 pawn. We're going to win another pawn, and your king is really the thing.
Rook takes e6. Rook takes f7. Rook g6. You're just hanging on by a thread here, Arslan.
Yeah. Okay. So you're hanging on. You're not resigning, is what you're saying, right? Because
no, you've got to be a bit careful.
You're just somehow the shape. This move queen e4 keeps black in the game.
It also creates some counter chances. Let's not forget rook g8 does come, and g2 is a problem. So we're not going to write black off just yet. And Simon Ansell, quick shout out to Simon Ansell, who on the weekend we had a couple of glasses of wine together. I proposed we played flips, PLO flips. He wasn't interested in flipping at 3 in the morning. Even
don't gamble, Lawrence. Don't do it.
Oh, I ended up playing PLO flips with somebody else, and well, it didn't go well to start off with, and then I won the big one. You see, you lose the small ones and you win the big one. You win the big one and you're doing just fine. Okay, and Simon is doing poorly against Lawrence Cooper. In fact, Simon Ansell is currently on, if my scoreboard tells me correctly, Simon Ansell is on half a point, having a terrible outing this week on half
That's
a point.
Okay. It happens.
It's
Looks
not
like
okay.
the Towers are going to win anyway.
The Towers are going to win this match.
So if you're gonna have a terrible outing, have it on a time that your teammates lift you up, Lawrence.
That's true. So we've got these 4 games going on. Thomas is in an ending now, which is not completely over. As I said, this is far from over, this position.
Well, yeah, but I understand.
It's only a
He's
pawn.
got an extra pawn, and he's got that nice rook on f7, and now he can just play something chill like rook f2 because this g file pressure is not as menacing when there are no queens on the board.
Yeah, but now rook f2, maybe I just go rook g3 or something. I don't know.
Gotcha. So you're getting a little counterplay, but I'm coming back. Rook c7, rook e3, rook back to f7, threatening checkmate. It's annoying.
I mean, it's not pretty. g4, allowing h5. That's interesting. Oh, you played rook g7 first. So h5, rook f5 maybe was the idea by Thomas, with rook h5 mates on the cards.
But now black is just really passive.
Now black is very passive.
They're passive. King f2. I love this move. Just chill. And white is just if we just come up to h. If we just come up to, how are we gonna get our king in? King g3 at some point, king e2 maybe, but I think that white just has everything here.
Yeah, I'm not particularly.
You're not too worried about white's technique anymore now that black doesn't have any counterplay, Lawrence. The key thing in rook endgames is you got to get counterplay as a weaker side, right? I mean, that's a general rule, and obviously general rules are principles, not always true, but I really think it held true here. Black needed to find a way to get counterplay because now white just plays rook e8 or rook f5 and the king comes to e4 and you just resign. So you might as well try to get active.
Yeah, but king e2 holds everything together, and if rook d5, e4, and if
it's too late to get active now.
Let's move on because this game is over. Thomas will win this. Let's go back.
And that will mean that the London Lions will lose this match.
Yeah, they're going to lose this match. Also, Jean-Pierre, though, has managed to... Jean-Pierre has done extremely well to get this position against Gawain. Now he's got this fantastic passed a-pawn with the rook behind it, ready just to go. And if rook to a5, I guess he's going to go bishop c6 again. I mean, he does. And knight f5 now by Gawain, I suppose. And then maybe rook b1 or d1 perhaps to stop this knight coming in, or maybe you put the bishop. Rook d1 he'll play after knight f5, but Gawain's going to make a draw here because that's what Gawain does. He makes a draw from worse positions.
And there it is. Thomas Trendle has won his game by resignation, and that means that the London Towers have scored their first victory of the Pro Chess League this season. So really important. It doesn't look pretty, Lawrence. The 0 is not fun, and now they're hopping up to 1 point. Meanwhile, we've got a lot of other moving and shaking in the standings after a really dramatic round in the Central Division.
Let's actually, talking about the standings, why don't we see a live update of those standings right now? This is how things are right now. Hopefully this will be updated as well very, very shortly. I'm going to just click the refresh. There we have it. That has been updated. So, as things stand, disregarding the game points for the moment, the Migraines and the Snowballs at the very top with 4.5 points, Jen. 1.5. And the Migraines with the superior tiebreak as things stand. So they are top of the division. 62 game points compared to 58. The Can Blockbusters with a very important win as well today. Jump to third position. And they have got 4 points, snapping at the heels of Stockholm and Marseille. And the Turtles on 3.5 with a good point distance against the Puffins, who will be desperately disappointed for losing today, who are only on 2.5. The Amsterdam Mosquitoes as well will be utterly disappointed and dejected. Their hopes of qualifying all but over on 2. And then the 2 London teams, Towers still propping up the table, but at least they got a win on the board against the London Lions. So that is how things stand after this week's action. Man, what a week we've had, no? I mean, so much action, so many blunders, and so many upsets and drama. That's why we're here, right, Jim?
Oh my God, so much drama. The things that stick out for me, though, are that knight h6 move from Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. And then, of course, the George Meier, 2 things by Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. The George Meier endgame squeeze that won me the 2 boxes of chocolate.
Oh, no, I actually forgot about that momentarily. Oh, my.
What a wonderful moment in Pro Chess League history.
Oh, my God. I bet a tweet is coming for that as well. I'm sure you'll manufacture something just to remind
Grandmaster Robert Hess already tweeted at us, and he's going to be doing a halftime show after we're off with Danny Ranch. So those of you who are in the East Coast, perhaps, and you're just getting off work and settling in for a Valentine's Day of takeout sushi and Pro Chess League or the big monitor, that sounds like a great Valentine's Day idea. And, Robert and Danny are going to get you started up with the highlights from the first 2 divisions. So what a treat that they have for the rest of the night for you guys. Speaking of which, I'm going to take a look and see if we have any good chat here on the Twitch and Chess.com stream. We've actually been getting a lot of good stuff on Twitch. ChessPay is pointing out for everybody listening but not watching that chat that next week there's no Pro Chess League on Wednesday. It's on Saturday instead on the 24th. So not this Saturday coming up, but rather Saturday the 24th is going to be a Super Saturday day. And then Lawrence and I will be back on for our regular scheduled time on the 28th of February.
And is it a leap year? I always forget, Jen. Is it a leap? It's not a leap year, right? It's not a leap year. It's never a leap year. The 28th of February, right? I've got it.
I'm getting some comments that the Puffins might have had some kind of issue with their internet, and that was one of the reasons they had a tough time. They started getting low on time in a lot of games because of internet issues. So that's too bad. But that's part of the Pro Chess League. You gotta have internet and backup internets because it seems like.
You do have to have backup internet. You've got to have that phone ready to go. Use it as your hotspot.
It's kind of like, from playing poker online, it's critical. If you have a situation where you're at a final table and you lose your internet, you could really lose a lot of money. And similarly for the Pro Chess League, the stakes are high. So teams that are having issues with internet may seriously think about investing in backups and having a backup plan of action. Like, how can we get back in our backup plan within a minute so that if it's not the very end of the game, at least it's not complete disaster. You got to have drills, Lawrence, like a fire drill.
You got to have drills. Got to have drills and you got to have grills, guys. Get those grills.
That's like a Twitch thing for girls, right?
No, I think I was looking at grills on a car. Do you guys not celebrate that anymore?
Oh,
the big grills. Yeah. Oh, okay, never mind. Jean-Pierre, is he trying to win this or make a draw? I haven't decided.
So hero of the day.
Hero of the
Meier.
day, yeah. Pure
3.5 out of 4.
Wow.
Logan Van Wheelie, yeah. Also big contender for that role for the Mosquitoes with 3.5. And Maxime Lagarde, 3.5 for the Blockbusters.
Yeah.
So a huge day for those 3 grandmasters.
Whoa, Jean-Pierre made a queen. And now it's up to going, but queen F3 followed by Queen G3 or Queen E3 was winning. Queen E3 check wins the rook. Game up. Queen E3's mate. Queen E3's mate in 1. He's got what? He missed mate in 1. He missed mate in 1. Tell me if I'm going mad. Rook D4. Queen E3 is mate. There we go. You missed it. Even grandmasters miss mate in 1, guys. But he has got a queen against a knight. It won't change the result. Probably. Gawain is going to try and be sticky, because that's what Gawain is. He's a sticky kind of guy. And I don't know. Queen H8 or something. Do something. A Queen E3 check. Is this fortress? No, it's not. It's not a fortress. It's never a fortress with just a knight against the queen. But Jean-Pierre taking his time. Could have ended it a while ago. Decided not to. And King D6 now looks like the move. He played it. And it looks like Zugzwang actually now is in the air. So, yeah, we'll quickly go over to play dead against Squire Lowells. That is James Lear against Peter Roberson. This looks like a winning position for Peter, but is it so easy with this pass D pawn? 9 seconds versus 7 seconds. Come on, Peter, you got to make a move, mate. Queen C6. Okay. King F8. King E8. Put the king on D7. Yes, I like it, Peter. Put that king on D7, sir. Good move. And now move my queen D5 check. That's also probably good enough. Rook C4 is coming. Take on H4, take on H5, take on E5. Rook C6 is a bit passive. Maybe it's okay, but you've got to go Rook C4 here, in my opinion.
Yeah, so,
yeah.
Wow, 10 seconds left for the Lions and 3 seconds left for the Towers. But, of course, this match has already been clinched for the Towers, saving their dignity in the match standings. Bishop E6, Rook B4. He fell for it, Lawrence.
He did. But the game was pretty much over anyway.
Indeed, but this is going to be resigning. And we have some people asking if Danny Wrench is going to be analyzing some of the highlights. Indeed, Danny is going to be on right after us. So very exciting day, Lawrence. It was great to be able to see some of these tight matches and see it all go down to the final games. That's what we love to see in the Pro Chess League.
That's why we're here. And that is a wrap for today, guys. So just a very quick summary of the results. One more time. Stockholm beating Marseille Migraines in the big matchup of the leading 2 teams, 8.5, 7.5. A draw between the Turtles and the Mosquitoes means that they are both... Sorry, the Mosquitoes are now suffering massively, with the Turtles doing okay. The Puffins are desperately disappointing loss this week. Bad internet problems, we don't know. However, they are now well and truly in trouble against the rest of the field. The probability of them qualifying very, very low now, whereas the Cam Blockbusters have still got a chance. London Lions losing their rival game against the London Towers, the big derby. Quick look, that is not the standings. I thought I had that up there. That was my Twitter feed. In any case, we saw the standings before. We are out of here until the next time, which is again the 28th of February, if I remember correctly, Jen.
That's right. And I'm not ready to count the Puffins out yet, Lawrence.
Okay. You're not ready to
playing the Lions and the Mosquitoes in the last 2 matches. They've got some of the toughest matches behind them. Anything can happen. The Puffins can get back in there. You know, you got to be careful counting out those guys from Reykjavik. You're going to visit there soon, so
I'm there next week. I'm there.
You better be nice.
And Jen,
yes, it's going to be...
Happy Valentine's Day. I'm looking forward to sending you those chocolates. All right.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. It's a pleasure to be with you as always. And everybody stay with us for a very exciting evening of Pro Chess League action. Happy Valentine's Day.
Peace, guys. See you soon.